You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting sets, and come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world, and show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh at me, gonna miss a treat, gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting sets, and come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world, and show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Joe.
Yo.
That was awesome, man. That
Yeah,
was
you
so
like it?
good.
Oh, we gotta get 2 rounds of applause. It was so good.
Well done making that. That's our new intro that Joe put together. So awesome.
Oh, thanks,
I,
man. Yeah.
I need to watch it like 10 times so I can see everyone that's in it. Because you go through it and it's so fast and you're like, who was that? Who was that?
Yeah, for us, for a 1 minute 20-second video, it was a ludicrous amount of edits and cuts and time and stuff to do it. I was spending
Yeah, very well done. That was awesome.
you know, I was looking through like an hour episode for like, a second or two here and a second or two there, and like, oh man, it's good.
I feel like it had twice as much editing as the last intro you did, where between each scene there was like another scene that was like an applause or someone dancing or something.
Yeah. There was a lot of quick cuts in there. It was fun, but yeah, it was like it's interesting trying to get it to line up with the beat of the music. That's the most like absurd part, which like I was really like obsessed with. So like I was sitting there like pausing it and making sure it was right like 1,000 times. It was ridiculous, dude.
And you're a music person, so it has to be perfect to you, right?
Good enough. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
probably perfect. Like I'm sure if I stare at it enough, I'll be like, that's 1 frame early.
I can notice that.
Yeah, but it's all good. Either way, I think it came out cool. It was fun. So
That's awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing it twice a week, every week.
heck yeah. So
I love the start, how it's PS1, PS2, PS3. That was cool.
heck yeah. Yeah, did you there's like no good boot up things for the PS4 and PS5 really. Like they don't really have that anymore. It's
Well,
like,
there's no reason behind that. Systems are like computers. You turn them on and they're on these days, I turn
Yeah.
my PS5 on, turn around, change my monitor, and I'm playing a game within like 30 seconds. So
I know. Now you could just get like a safety and health warning or something. I'm like, I'm not putting that in the intro. That's freaking lame. So,
well, guys,
not like-
welcome to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast. This is season 3, and we are on episode number 5. That was
Yeah.
quick.
I know, getting there.
No guest tonight, guys. You're stuck with me and Joe. I hope that's no problem.
It's a huge
We've got
problem.
plenty in store for you guys. We've got a quiz. We're going to go through a bunch of questions that you guys asked. And yeah, it should be fun. If you want to ask any questions in the chat, we might get to them later on as well.
Yeah, so no one will come on the show because I sent everybody pictures of my balls on Snapchat. So if you want to know, apparently,
was you?
yeah, I sent you the most pictures. Do you not check those? But yeah, that's not it. We have a lot of guests coming on soon. That'll be fun. Just yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, always having content on the show. That's for sure. So, what have you been up to this week, Joe?
So it's freezing where I am, and it's been snowing, so not too much. Just hanging out at the homestead. Been playing some games, still working on Binding of Isaac, trying to finish off all my unlocks, and I actually did finish like a couple of the most terrible ones, so I'm getting close to. Like I left myself some easy stuff to finish with as like a relaxing way to finish some like easier characters. So I'm just gonna bang all those out. And that'd be nice to have that done because I've been kind of obsessed with that since I've been
It
back
is a good
into it.
idea doing things like that because if you leave the hardest, sometimes you just don't do it.
Or you just walk away and don't come back to it as much.
Yeah,
So
exactly. You're like, oh, it's just too hard, and then you leave it for too long, and you're like, I've forgotten how to play. It's not going to happen.
yeah, it's tough. That it's rough. Like some of the one of the characters I'm working on now, like you can't get hit like at all. Like you get one free hit for the whole level, and then other than that, you can find cards occasionally that will give you like a shield for one free hit, but they're like really sparse. So it's tough. You have to basically beat like Mega Satan, which is insane, and you have to not get hit like the whole time. So it's pretty rough. But I'm close. I only have to do like 3 more things with that character and I'll be done with that. And then once that's done, it's smooth sailing. And
It
then
sounds like it's one of those things that once you do it, it's a really rewarding feeling, and it's worth it.
yeah, so that game, what it's all about is that there's tons millions of items, and the only way to unlock them is to beat all these different things with all the characters. So you usually do unlock something pretty awesome. Not always. Some of the items are kind of lame for the effort you put in, but some of them are amazing. So if you do that, um, it'll like make other characters a little easier because you've unlocked better stuff. If that makes sense.
Is each character unlock the same item, or is it random throughout, or how's that work?
No, it's the same for everybody, but there's like I don't even know how many characters there are now, but there's a ton of characters, and then he added painted versions of all the characters, so they all have like another version of that character as well on top of that.
Which all have their own item, I'm sure.
Yes, exactly. So it's just absurd how much stuff there is, but it is worth it because then when you're done, you've unlocked everything. You have access to all the good stuff, and that's when you're like, it's almost like that episode of South Park in World of Warcraft where they like spend the whole episode trying to kill that guy and do all this stuff and blah blah blah, and then they're like, now what do you do? Like, now we can finally play the game. So it's kind of like the same thing. You have to like suffer for all this stuff, and then once you finally have it all unlocked, it's like, all right, cool, I can just play now and enjoy myself.
Oh, I find that concept interesting because the one downside to that concept is the game gets easier as you go on because you unlock all these different things. And then, by the end of it, you've unlocked everything. So it's just a walkthrough in the park. And
so what this game does, which makes it interesting, is there's this character. It's called Eden, and what it is that every round you spawn with different items and different stats. So it's like it has like that rogue-like element to it. And like what people try to do is they try to do streaks and try to get as many wins as in a row as you can.
Yep.
which is cool. So it does that game. It's well designed. Like you could play it forever if you want. Like I said, I have thousands of hours, like
You
literally
do play it
thousands and
forever,
thousands and thousands of hours in that game.
I've honestly never tried it. I'll have to play it at some point. I do own it. So,
I'm sure it won't be for everybody, but I find it incredibly addicting. Yeah.
Probably not a similar game, but I feel like it's like Terraria. Like I've played Terraria for like
That's
3
similar.
hours.
It's a
Okay,
similar.
and I'm like, I had fun in that game, and it was hard,
Mhm.
and it was easy, and I feel like I did heaps. But you can play that game for like 2,000 hours and still discover stuff. So like, I feel like I've like touched the top of the iceberg, and there's so much more underneath that I haven't even looked at yet.
Oh yeah, that game goes on and on and on. My roommate put some serious time into that game. He used to stream that game a long time ago, actually.
It's got some crazy bosses in that game, man. Oh my god.
Yeah. And it's cool too because I like it because it's got that simple design to it, and it's still pretty complicated and it's still hard. That's a great game.
I love the water physics in that game. I just had so much fun in getting the water to the lowest point I could and finding puddles to open them up and add it to my little puddle that I've been making.
Yeah, I only played it a little bit, and I think I played it on the Wii U. I think about it.
Oh,
Pretty sure that's the version that I played. Yeah, because I had the cool tablet. I'm pretty sure that's what I played it on. I own it on, I think, a few platforms now I think about it. I think I have it on PS4 and maybe Vita.
I think I played it on the PS3.
It's probably on everything.
Yeah, it is on everything. I think it was on the PS3.
But yeah, and then my like relaxing game lately is I've been playing Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, nice. How are you enjoying that?
It's really good. I'm digging it. So
Yeah.
I find it like kind of funny to me because you can clearly tell they were like, we need to get Westerners to like our game, so let's just Lord of the Rings the shit out of this thing. Let's just medieval it up. Like it's so I don't know how to describe it compared to the other games. Like it's definitely more like you could feel the intent that made it so like I don't know. It doesn't feel
I'm
like
sure I'm still going to enjoy it, but yeah, I'll looking forward to giving it a go, even if it is like that.
But what's funny is like when it first started, the main protagonist kind of looked like somebody that would have been in Final Fantasy 15. Like he was very like he's got the hair, you know. He looks like an anime dude. He doesn't look like very
The black
badass.
hair and fits in with the crew and fits in with the was it Vendetta, the car?
Yeah,
Something
it
like that.
just and I was like, oh, here we go. I'm like, I'm gonna have to play the least badass looking dude in this whole game. What the hell? But then it's like there's like a time jump and they show him and he's older and he's like super badass. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, never mind. So and I actually love the main protagonist. We talked about this last time too. But I
Did
think
that not
Cloud
happen
is
in 15 as well? Did you not start as a kid and then
maybe I didn't even get that
I
far.
feel like the tutorial you start as a kid and then you instantly grow up into like a 16, 17-year-old. It looks cool, you know.
Yeah, no, this is like I don't know. You guys see what you'll see if you play it. But again, the only gripe I have, which isn't really that big of a deal, I'm actually getting used to it, is that there's just a lot of cutscenes.
Yeah. But that's a if it didn't have a lot of cutscenes, people would complain because it's a Final Fantasy game, you know.
I do, and the only another thing too, I know I'm sure people have. I'm not the first person to complain about it. It's like it's not the same experience like the old ones were at all. Like there's literally no sense of exploration in these games at all. It's just they're very linear, and they're just like you go here, just one way to go, maybe like a couple hallways with a little item here or two, but it's not like the old games where you had the open world and you kind of look around and you had like I don't know. I like the very simple design of the old games where you had like your base area, you had your shop with a certain type of weapons, you had this dungeon. You kind of wanted to beat the dungeon, maybe get some that items in the shop. You move on to the next area, move on to the next area. I don't know. It's probably the same ultimately, but it doesn't feel the same. I don't know how else to describe it. It doesn't feel like
I noticed with 15 that even though like the second half of the game was bad in terms of how linear it was, so the first half felt like it was open, but it really wasn't. Like you got in the car, you couldn't even drive it. It was automated cutscenes, and
Mm.
just thinking about it now, how like limited you really were, and I'm comparing it to something like Elden Ring, where like it was one of the greatest exploration games I've ever played. And it came out a couple of years ago, so it would have come out when they were designing Final Fantasy 16. So they didn't take anything from. Well, look at
Mm.
how they did exploration in this game. They just threw you in the middle of the game and said, "Good luck. Here's a little map." And then as you explore the game, the map gets bigger and your
Mm.
mind gets blown because you're like, "Oh my god, the
Yeah.
game twice as big." And then you unlock the next map and you're like, "It's 3 times as big." And then you unlock it again and it doubles again and you're like, "Oh my god, this is a Dark Souls game."
Yeah, dude. That's a really good juxtaposition to what I'm trying to say because Elden Ring was the exact opposite of like insane sense of exploration. Like in Elden Ring, you could just literally be like, "Is that a little crack in the wall? Huh? Can I fit through here?" And then like you go through there, and like an hour later, you're on like fighting like this dragon god on this little island in a cave, 1,500 miles underground. Like you're like, "What the hell just happened? This is crazy!" Like there were many times in that game where I'm like. I'm gonna explore a little bit, and then it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on until a point I'm like, I just feel like I shouldn't be here. What is this looks crazy? Like I'm scared. This is where am I headed? And then sure enough, you end up finding this insane alternative boss that's just absolute hell. Like, man, it was crazy. Elden Ring was a trip, dude.
Well, Tears of the Kingdom was the same. In Tears of the Kingdom, if
Mhm.
you've seen something, you could go there. It didn't matter if it was an island in the distance or something in the sky or literally like a dragon flying in the sky, you can fight that thing. It's not just randomly flying around there. You can fight it, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I like stuff like that. That's good game design too. Like I love games like, that have like some unbelievable awful monster that's roaming around that whoops your ass for like forever, and then like later on you can finally come back and kill it to get some like insane reward. Like I love
Yeah, and
that.
you
Like,
can't kill it in the main story. Like you can't even kill it after you beat the game. You have to become like overpowered and do all these little things, and then you can beat it. And then when you finally do, you're like, I have beaten this game. You know, it's a great feeling.
yeah, dude. Like I remember trying to beat the Emerald weapon and the Ruby weapon in Final Fantasy VII. Like after you'd beat the whole game and done everything, like if you wanted to be a psycho, you could try to beat them. And I tried for a little while and I gave up. I never accomplished that feat. But my little brother, he was like committed, man. He did everything in Final Fantasy VII. He beat both of the weapons. He did all the chocobo racing and all the breeding and all that crap. He was just like, he went wild.
Turn the aircon down. It's a bit hot in here. 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. And then he did the same thing on Final Fantasy X. Like he went just absolutely crazy deep with that game, doing all of the in-game like alternative games, like the I can't remember what the hell's the name of the Blitz Ball and all that crap.
When you got to get the 200 lightning strikes in a row, and you have to do it perfectly. And
yeah, he did all that stuff. Like
what's up, Spidey? What's up, Cal? How's everyone going? People watching on Twitch. It's awesome.
So Final Fantasy X was the first one I started to dip out on Final Fantasy. For the reason I actually stated earlier, where I was really disappointed with the linear design of the game, where you were just like kind of like walking on a path. I don't know. It just bothered me. I don't know. Like I really think I've heard rumors that maybe they've actually thought about going back to pixel art. I don't know. I think that I don't know. Imagine if they did that.
Well, they can do that, but if they do, it's a spin-off title. You know, they can't do Final Fantasy VII and as an 8-bit game because it'll just cop so much hate and blah blah.
That would be. Oh man, I don't know. They should do like a new Final Fantasy game as a pixel game for that audience. Like you said, it could be a spin-off. It could be a fucking Chronicles 3 or.
I would rather
whatever.
see like a new Chrono Trigger or something like that. You know.
Well, yeah, obviously.
That would be cool. And the same art style, and oh man, how good would that be?
I don't know.
But you know, we'll just get Chrono Trigger remastered these days. We won't get a new one. Let's be honest.
That'd be fine.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that too.
Yeah, I mean, Chrono Cross was a really good game too for what it is too. I don't feel like that game gets enough credit for what it is.
We never got that one over here, unfortunately. I don't know
really.
Why. Yeah.
You should pick up the Switch port. Or,
yeah, I've been meaning to. It's just so many games out there to buy. So little time.
Yeah, that one is like an absurd amount of characters and possible endings. It's like one of those games you could play like 1,000 times if you wanted to, which Chrono Trigger is similar. There's a bunch of different endings, but yeah. I mean, let's be real, like you said though. Like, let's say they came out with a new Chrono game with 500 characters and 300 endings. I'd be like, I'm not doing that. I still haven't started the new Star Ocean remake because I'm just like, I don't know. It's a lot of work.
The new one. I haven't started the last one, let alone the new one.
Oh, I did. I played the actual, not the remake, the last like new game they came out with or whatever. I can't remember the name of it right now. I really liked it. I thought it was excellent.
My last one was Star Ocean 4 on like 2006 on 16 on the PS4. It was great. It was an actually fantastic game. There was a point where it was like my favorite RPG on PS4, and then we got games like Bloodborne was, but yeah, there was a point where I was like promoting this game. It was amazing. But, now you look at it today, the PS4's RPG library is just absolutely insane, especially for JRPGs.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. PS5's got a pretty respectable RPG library.
Definitely. Yeah. Like man, PS4's got like 200-300 crazy like JRPGs, and it got like all the you know, it got the 90s treatment of like Secret of Manners and different things like that. Insane what we got the pixel remastered collection of Final Fantasy, and isn't it like every single Final Fantasy game except 11, 12 and 13 on 11 and 13 on PS4, is that correct? And 16 obviously. Because 11's the MMO, and then 13 is exclusive to PS3. And I don't think we'll get that.
Did 7 get a physical release? The regular 7 on PS4? I know it did on Switch. I'm trying to think.
I feel like there was a digital version, so you can say it's
there's definitely a digital version, but for physical, I think the Switch is the way you want to go to get like all of them physically. Because I have the Pixel Mastery and 7, and then I have 8, 7 and 8 in like a combo. Then I have 9 in a standalone release, and 10 and X and X2, and
12 got a European
12.
release.
Yeah, 12 as well.
14 obviously, 15.
Yeah.
But then you can also say 7 got the remaster treatment as well, so you have to include it.
Oh, sure, absolutely, and I am pumped about the sequel to that.
We had a comment here saying that Sea of Stars physical's been dropped on IM8. I wasn't aware of that. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's
I wonder
badass.
if it's got the update of the completionist being taken out of prior.
Yeah, I've seen people online already say that they want the Japanese version because it's like the unupdated controversial version or something. I'm like, Dave.
Yeah, like people want these people cancelled, but then like people like us will be like, well, now that version's banned, I kind of want the banned one.
Exactly. You want the one that's like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter if you put it in and you want to patch it, it's going to go away either way. So,
yeah.
And that whole drama will die. It won't last.
Dude, he released a new video. It was talking like nothing happened. It was wild. The comments. I don't know how you could run a YouTube channel where 99% of people who are commenting all hate you, and the videos are like 90% dislikes. And
he'll just have to like just keep making videos and go through it. Like, so first of all, like most of the people going on there and putting hateful comments like don't actually watch his videos. Like some do. Some are his fans who are upset, I'm sure, but most of those people are just people who will do that because they like to do that, and they're into drama. You know what I mean? And like soon some other person will do something and they'll all go over to their channel and do that to them. They're not, so he's got to kind of weather the storm. And like, it's one of those things where it's like being in quicksand. If you struggle and you fight back, you'll just sink faster and make it worse. So it's like he just has to, if he wants to keep going, he has to just keep going and pretend like nothing happened. I mean, you got to look at some people, and they've had some pretty shitty things happen, and they keep
actually
on, you know what I mean?
That is wild for me to think that he's just going to continue with his career like nothing happened.
Yeah, because he still has fans. There's still people who like him, and there's still people who are loyal to him, and people who don't care, or people think
I was talking about the completion.
He got a raw deal or whatever. So
drama.
I don't really care at the end of the day. I don't. He donated the money, so I don't give a shit. The whole thing was shady.
Yeah,
it didn't turn out he had like a basement full of kids that he spent the money on or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's plenty of worse people out there. There's so many people doing worse.
Yeah, I'm much more concerned about who was on that damn island than I am with the completionist and his bullshit.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're spot on there. Exactly. People go on more about that little thing, and then we got wars going on in the world, and we got things like the island and blah blah blah. But regardless, though, because we are in the video game collecting scene, I feel like we do have an opinion to have on drama that's in our scene, and
of course
something like I wouldn't expect something of this to happen. When it's in terms of charities and things like that, it's sort of just assume that you do it the right way because it's for such a good cause, and it's just disappointing to hear that people would have gone about the wrong way. And obviously, like if Musa and what's the Aussie guy who does the speedrunning videos?
I remember his name.
If they didn't release that video in the first place, he wouldn't have donated the money. Like,
Yeah.
we all know. He donated the money because he got caught.
Of course.
Like, does that justify making the crime? Like, oh, that's okay because you did it in the long run? It's like, well,
no.
Like kidnapping someone and releasing them when you're being caught. Oh, here you go, guys. You can go free now. I wasn't actually kidnapping this person.
It's a shitty thing, 100%. Like, I'm not defending anything that happened. Like, it's not good, but it's not as bad as people seem to be. Like, I don't know. People are acting like the dude murdered someone or something. They're like, he's done forever. I'm like, he's really not. That was just.
I think that comes down to cancel culture. It's very toxic on the internet.
Which I'm against.
On the whole.
Yeah, and I'm against that because, like I said, I feel like most people, they don't even really care. They're just enjoying being part of that movement or that moment. Like, and also, it's a really easy way for people to feel better than other people because, oh God, I would never do something such as this. I would never. Meanwhile, most of these people have, in reality, who knows what they would do if they had access to $500,000, if what they would do. Exactly. In their mind, they think they would be pure and moral and true and all that other stuff. But most people aren't as disciplined as they think they are. Let's just put it that way.
I see, but it's in your bank account and no one's saying anything, and they all just yeah, exactly.
So it's a perfect example. Is like people who are like, I would never cheat on my nobody. I'm like, yeah, that's really easy to say if you're unattractive and no one wants to fuck you and you have no opportunity to cheat. But it's a lot harder to do when you're out on, in Vegas and you're freaking half in the bag and some hot chick is like wants to do, pull you up in the hotel room. If you're in the situation and you're in the moment and you actually have to decide, it's a really hard thing to do. So people can think that it's easy and they would never do anything wrong or they'd be perfect. But, the truth is, like,
you'd be like me going, I'm never going to drive drunk.
You never know until you're in the moment who you are and what type of person you are until you're actually tested. So you can say, you can imagine that you're perfect, but, I've seen a lot of people make a lot of bad decisions who I thought were good people.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. That people I would never expect to do the things that they've chosen to do, and they've chosen to do terrible, horrible things. So, yeah.
And 99% of the time, they would never do it. But it just came down to the context of the situation that they were.
Crime of opportunity.
Yeah,
it's a perfect example. It's like I would never steal, but like you never know. What if I was just like freaking walking down the street? And I saw some lady and Kuon just fell out of her purse onto the ground, complete in box, perfect manual. You know what I'm saying? And she's like in a rush. And I pick up the game and I'm like, hey, lady. And she's like, yo, F you, motherfucker. I don't have time for you. All right. I might have to just put Kuon. I might just have to put Kuon in my pocket and I might have to go home with that. I don't know. But would I just go up in some dude's store and punch him in the face and take his Kuon? No, I wouldn't do that, bro. But I'm just saying, life isn't as simple as you think.
Well, I think that brings up a good argument of finding money on the ground. What do you do when you find money on the ground? Do you hand it in or do you keep it?
Hand it in to who? Fuck that. No, if I just find money lying on the ground and there's no one around, that shit is 100% mine.
Does it change if it's a significant amount of money? So
no.
You found a briefcase that's got $100,000 in it.
Okay, well, yeah, yes, because then I could go to jail for some sort of tax fraud or some sort of or it could be some like mafia. But I don't know. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, if I found that much money, hell no, I wouldn't tell nobody. I'd be doing cash deals on Facebook Marketplace all day, son. I'd be buying up everything.
You're like, there's nothing on Marketplace in my area.
Like, Joe, would you get 5 Taco Bell PS4s? I'd be like, yeah, baby, look at this shit.
Find all the overpriced stuff because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but if I'm like I said, if I'm walking down the street, some little lady, there's money falling out of her bag, I'd tell her, I'd give it back to her. I'm not a piece of shit, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's all the context,
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. It's one of those questions that you'll see in job interviews and stuff to test people's character.
Yeah, in general, I'm like I said, I'm really against stealing and stuff. So I don't know. I worked in loss prevention for a while, catching thieves. So it like really turned me off to that shit. Like just like
How
you.
good of a feeling is it
psycho.
walking someone out of a shop when you've caught them stealing and you've got all that fucking adrenaline and you're like, "Don't come back! I'm calling the police."
Yeah. It was for the most part it was pretty chill, but yeah, there was a few things that were kind of intense. Basically, my job was to just
stealing chickens and shit.
my job was to get in the doorway and be large, so they couldn't get past the doorway. So
Yeah.
like there are all these rules where like I'm not allowed to like do anything to anybody, but if they come at me, well, they came at me, so I would have to like position myself in the
Oh,
door.
looks like I'm gonna have to hurt you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So basically, my job was to just like sit on people until the cops showed up. Yeah.
I just going back to the money story. I remember when I was a kid, and this is karma. When I was a kid, I found like $20 on the ground. I would have been like 12 or 13, and it was awesome. I kept it, and then a few months later, I got my first job, and it was probably like 10 k's from my house, and I lived in a tiny town of less than 1,000 people. So I rode my bike there and back. I was like 12, 13 years old, and I got paid like $20 for 2 or 3 hours work. Well, probably 2 hours work, and I rode home. And anyway, on the ride home, $20 must have like flown out of my pocket or something. So it was like, you found money on the ground, or you just lost it, and someone else is gonna find it now.
It's karma, baby.
Yeah. I didn't realize it at the time, but you know, it makes sense.
I don't think I've ever found a significant amount of money in my life. No.
I
There's
used
no
to,
guy that used to like he used to like to go into the men's room and piss all over a $20 bill, and then he'd leave it on the ground and just see if anyone would take it. That's what my
I
friends.
used to work in a supermarket, and I found the money a few times in there, and I always handed it in. And found out what happened to it is the supermarket just put it in the tills and profited it. So it's like, did I really do the right thing handing it in? Should I have just kept it? This company that makes like $2 billion profit.
One time I lost my wallet, and like I had been looking for it for maybe like 15 minutes when I like, you know, finally like that panic was starting to set in, like, oh crap, I really can't find it. God damn it. And then somebody just knocked on my door randomly, and they were like, hey, found your wallet in the parking lot. Here you go. And I was just like, thank you. It was freaking awesome. So some random person found it and like brought it to my house and dropped it off.
Didn't take anything from it or anything.
No, they didn't take nothing. I think I gave him some money though. Like half of what was in there. I'm like, you can keep it, bro. It was only like 40
See, today's interesting. Like, I rarely take my wallet anywhere with me because you don't really need it these days. And if I do, it's never got money in it.
Yeah, I just have it for basically just to have my ID on me in case I need it for whatever reason.
Well, I've got it on my phone now. I got my card on my phone. So like, what would I need my wallet for? I got like a couple of gift vouchers in there and stuff, you know.
Well, I got my Chuck E. Cheese card. I got my my BJ's membership. I got my AARP card. I was kidding. I got my my Diners Club of America card. I don't know, man.
You haven't got your Costco membership? We've got one of them.
No, dude, I'm a BJ's man.
Okay.
Yeah, don't take that.
Is that like a similar thing?
Yeah, BJ's Wholesale Club is the same as Costco. It's just like a warehouse thing where like you can only buy like, you know, 50 boxes of cereal. You can't just buy one. It's like one of those things, like everything's in bulk. And
we've got them in Australia, but they're not up here. So I've never actually experienced it. So one day.
So as a kid, I grew up in a huge house. Like I have like 5 sisters and 2 brothers. So it's just like the amount of food we had to supply. Like my dad had to go there just because it was absurd. He's like, you guys eat so much to buy like 50,000. We had to have like 2 fridges in my house. You know what I'm saying? Like we had like the upstairs fridge, the downstairs fridge. It was crazy. My dad, I'm not even joking. I think I said this to you. He he had to take part-time jobs. He would take part-time jobs just to buy
he said he had that
milk,
luxury job.
just to buy milk. Because we would, me and my brothers, we would drink like 3 or 4 gallons of milk at dinner a night, at one meal.
Do you get a cow? Is it just more beneficial to a cow? What's that cow doing in the end? That's so the boys can drink milk.
Yeah. It was bad. And then I remember like it got to a point like he would hide the chocolate syrup in the house because like if me and my brother found it, we would be like, chocolate milk, and we'd drink like fucking 30 gallons of milk in like 24 hours. So my dad would be like, what the hell? You guys you drink a gallon of milk today? Why? We're like, chocolate milk's good. I remember, and so he would like hide that shit. And I remember like me, my brother would be like, I found it. It was in the closet. I'm like, sweet chocolate milk. we were relentless. We were bastards too. I remember my dad, he was a diabetic, and so he would buy like these special cookies. And I would just be like, I would just be like, hey, so he's come on, man, those are my special cookies. I'm like, cookies?
I can't eat the other ones.
He's like, these aren't even good. They suck. Like, you can eat real cookies. You can eat Oreos, motherfucker. Why are you eating my stupid little sugar-free cookies? I'm just like, I'm fat and I'm hungry. Give me cookies.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. But like you said, karma will get me back if I ever have a kid someday. I'm sure it'll be the same.
They'll be 7'4" and 8 out of house and home.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll just make them play for the Patriots or some shit. We'll be all right. That's the goal. You actually
said, I lost my wallet in a strip club in Vegas.
How? I'd like to hear more of this story. I mean, I've lost a lot of money at strip clubs, just not the whole wallet.
Throw the wallet on stage. Oh, I needed that. Okay, we have an interesting topic today.
Oh, right.
And that comes from an interview that came out this week from Ubisoft. And I don't know what the guy's position was at Ubisoft, but it's basically come out that Ubisoft said we should get used to not owning games.
Yeah. Basically, he said that consumers need to become more comfortable with the idea of not owning their games, and that don't worry, they'll always be available, and don't worry, you can always pick up your save files, and it's not a big deal. But you don't need to own your games, and you just need to get more comfortable with that idea. And I'm not comfortable with that idea at all.
As a game collector, I'm not comfortable with that idea either.
No, I don't even care necessarily. Regardless, let's take the physical versus digital debate out of it. Even if in a digital landscape, I still want to own my games, and I still want ownership of my games, and I want guarantees that my games will be available forever. Like not while it's available, not while the license is good, not while the servers are up, not whatever. Like, I want to be able to have access to it.
I want it to be
in perpetuity
that I played it first. So if they remaster it and I want the original version, I still want to be able to play that version, because that might be the version that I grew up with and I love and I'm nostalgic for,
Yeah, it's messed up that Blizzard did that to Overwatch and into World
Counter-Strike.
Yeah, and into Frozen Throne, Warcraft 3. Like, they made it so you can't play Overwatch 1 is gone now. It's just Overwatch 2. Like, you can't play or the original thing. And besides, they did so many updates and added so many characters or whatever. You'll never be able to go back to the vanilla experience of what that game used to be, which when it was the best. I think Overwatch was the best when it first came out, and it just got progressively.
It was I remember the Fortnite craze, but it was a year before that, and it was huge, man. It took over.
I loved Overwatch when it came out. I played it like crazy, dude.
I played on Xbox.
And I was watching the Overwatch League, and I was super into it. And they just kept adding more characters, and the game just kept getting more imbalanced. And then it also just the meta kept getting worse and worse and worse. And it what killed it for me was for a while that the meta was all tanks and one healer or something like that, or like all tanks and two healers. Like there was no DPS playing anymore. And like it sucked because like one of the things I really enjoyed about watching Overwatch League was watching the freaking DPS players. That's the funnest thing. Like not watching the tanks.
Yeah.
You know,
But
the
if
tanks
it
are
becomes the
boring.
meta, they have to do it because
Exactly.
it's not about entertainment, it's about winning. Like I watched a documentary this week on the Overwatch League and why it died. And it was sad, man. Season 1 of the Overwatch League. Like people were comparing it to the NFL.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Worldwide, and there was teams in London and teams in, Saudi Arabia or in Rio, and it was a worldwide thing. And then it just got slower and slower. Obviously, COVID killed it, but it was on the decline. Like, look at competitive Counter-Strike; it's still a thing. Competitive Dota is still a thing. It died for a reason.
To me, like I said, I can only speak for myself. I don't know about anyone else, but I lost the interest when, like I said, I couldn't watch the DPS play anymore. Like I wanted to see people who were sick with Pharah, and if Pharah wasn't in the meta, you just wouldn't see Pharah anymore.
Yep.
And I wanted to see people who were amazing with Tracer. Tracer, I loved watching people play Tracer. Such a crazy character, so fast, zipping around, bouncing off, doing the time reversal, doing the ults. Awesome, like so fun to watch people who are skilled play that character. And then not in the meta, gone. And so like season 1, like they were like all like people that were like, I don't know, it felt like wrestling, like or something, when like they bring in these people. They're like, oh shit, they're bringing in this guy who plays McCree. Oh man, here he comes. And he walks in and he gets like this crazy 8 kill, play, like killing everybody. Like, oh my god, it was awesome. Like, I don't know, and it just died.
You know what else they did? This really, really hurt people when Overwatch 2 came out. It went from 6v6 to 5v5. So all these competitive teams that people had full-time jobs at, that they had 6 people in a role getting paid full-time, one of them had to lose their job. That's the situation when you cut the player base like that. Like, how sad is that, man? Imagine having these 5 other mates and you're a solid core. Okay, one of you has to go. Like, what the fuck?
How do you think they did it? You think they draw straws, or they play Survivor or something, like fucking Fear Factor games? Maybe they have to eat fucking cave spiders, some shit.
Well, it would probably come down to what's the meta. Like, do you suddenly need 2 tanks, 2 healers? Like, which one can you survive without? And there'd obviously be a weak one, and that would be the one cut.
Yeah.
So there's one team of reject players are all being cut.
Yeah. Do you watch a lot of esports? You into any esports?
I watch the majors in CS. I used to watch competitive PUBG, but I don't watch it anymore. The only one that I'm like really into now is competitive GeoGuessr. I watch GeoGuessr tournaments every single week on Twitch. So, like,
that's cool.
Not esport quality, but they're professionally done. They're
I like Dota a lot.
Stream watching, and I watch. There's a YouTube channel called the Esports Scene. I watch their videos, and they'll like cover each different event and things like that, and do it in terms that if you don't play Dota, you can still watch the Dota videos and things like that.
I do like Dota quite a bit because, especially watching live Dotas, because in the real game there's fog of war, and they can, the other players can't see everything, but as a viewer, you can. So that is really exciting when you see someone like pushing up a lane and you see like the other team sneaking around behind them, like they're about to get.
Well, PUBG's
so good.
Esports PUBG, you can see every team. It's you're like, oh, they're wrapping the circle and they're about to run into this team, and then they'll go to the action, and it's like, it's pretty cool.
I do like that. So like one of the things, I don't know, it's true about TV shows. It's like if the viewer has more information than the character on the show or the person playing the game, that's like really entertaining. Because like you said, what's going to happen, and this thing, and they don't. So it's like, oh man, like I can't wait for this payoff to see what happens, because this, I love it. It's really good.
Yeah, 100%. I guess GeoGuessr is kind of similar. Like the commentators will will say the location and they can see everyone's guesses, but each player's in their own, not talking to everyone, has to make up their own decisions. So it's very similar. Like, the viewer always knows more, and it makes it more exciting. Like, oh, I know the spot, and they've both clicked on it. And that's cool.
So yeah, back to the Ubisoft thing. I don't know, man. Like, what's funny too is that I complain about all this, but like the next game that I really want to get is the new Prince of Persia game, which is by Ubisoft.
I've heard good things about it. Yeah, 100%.
I want it so bad, but it got a physical release, so no big deal. I might even pick it up on. I don't know. I think I might get it on the Switch, but PS5 copy sounds tempting too.
It'll be a game that I'll pick up in 5 years when it's like $20. But will that be a thing? Will games be $10, $20 in 5 years? Because they don't make as many games anymore. And there's more people who are like, I want my game. So supply and demand suggests to me that we're not going to see game shops having a $10 section in 10 years' time, because there won't be one. They won't be the product.
Well, yeah, I mean, at some point it's going to be that like literally every game is a low print run. Because they just don't make them. They don't make a lot of games. It's going to be like that. Like we've already seen some stuff that I found really disturbing. Like new games are unavailable. Like I remember when that RoboCop game.
RoboCop is still unavailable, and people are paying like $150 for it, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's
like a AAA type game, man. It's not like a random game. It's like a superhero type game,
And then
yeah, of course, Roger.
And then yeah, dude, yeah, absolutely, you can come in on. What was I gonna say? Oh, Metroid Dread was another one. Like that was like sold out. And or was it or no, was it it was the remaster, I'm sorry. It was Metroid Prime. Like that was like impossible to get for a while. Like you got reprinted and it's easy to get now. It's not a big deal, but I was like disturbed by the fact that this is like it was like a brand new game. And it, in the first week it's out, and I couldn't find a copy of it. I was like, "What the heck?"
Well, I feel that was a little bit of like Nintendo's whole FOMO on how they sell things. They put things out in quantities, and then put more out, and then put more out, and then put more out. And that they do that,
Yeah, Nintendo does do that. But either way, like I just feel like if you think FOMO is bad now, wait till it's like wait till it becomes to the point where it's like piranhas in the water for every game release, because people know that like it's gonna sell out and they're not gonna make any more, and it's gonna be impossible to get, because that's the way it's gonna go, I think, for sure.
I've got something to add to this that broke this week, and it's actually really sad, and it completely adds to it. So in the UK, one of the biggest game selling franchises in the UK is called Game, and they buy and sell secondhand games.
They're like
They
GameStop.
just announced this week that they are not accepting pre-owned games anymore. So the end of pre-owned games from Game in the UK is upon us. That's another franchise that we've just lost. It's pretty sad.
That's wild to me. But I mean that it doesn't mean the market will die. There'll just be mom and pop shops that take over. And I think that those shops are
you're right, but the quantity will definitely decrease. And mom and pop shops will be charging close to eBay prices, because
they will.
We have multiple customers coming and going. You got any, old Wii games? You got any old PS3 games? You got any, used PS4 games? Because that's what I'm after right now. And I read a comment from Cody from Pink Gorilla and this week, and it sort of blew my mind, the comment. And he said, if you want Wii games, buy them now, because we can't keep Wii games in stock right now. If you want a Wii title, you better buy it. Otherwise, like, the prices are already going up and it's disappearing. And that blew my mind. Like, I can't even keep Wii titles in stock. That's crazy.
Yeah, I figured that day would come eventually. That's one system that I'm not into collecting for, man. Like
I like it, man. Like I got a small little collection because I just go for the first party stuff. I find it really cool to have like a Mario game, a Kirby game, just really cool titles. I've only got like 60 games in the Wii collection.
I don't know. I'm a weirdo, dude. I collected for the Wii U, and I have a nice collection for that. And I just modded my Wii U to play Wii games. I just play them all that way, and then and I don't ever visit the system. I hate that. Yo, what is up?
I know, man.
Reggie in the house.
How's it going, guys?
It's good to see you, man. Welcome.
Good to see you guys, man. I hopped on the stream and I saw the topic, and I was like, dude, man, like I got an article from my cousin about this earlier this morning, and I just had to like join you guys for this one, man, because this is a big thing. Like they're being bold and coming out and saying, like, man, you got to accept that you don't own these games anymore. Like the Ubisoft guy, I don't know what his name was, but when I saw that, I was like, dude, what the heck, man? So, and then I hear you guys talking about RoboCop, the game, and I didn't know it was sold out everywhere. Is that what you were saying? It's
copies in Australia are going for like $150 right now.
I think the US copies
anywhere.
you can get it still. The US copy now.
US copies you get for regular price. I'm waiting for a discount on it. Now they're sold out allegedly. But the same thing I think happened with Terminator 2 is what Resistance. So I'm sure they'll restock because people just got to wait or whatever like that. And I guess digital sales will probably go up for them since the physical's not available. But yeah, I was just catching you guys talking about this topic, man. And the more bolder these companies are with saying this stuff, man, the more they feel that they have control over it. It's kind of scary, thinking that if I go to a GameStop store and they don't want to trade in anything anymore, they don't care about physical or whatever like that. And I don't even know if GameStop would last the digital market. Maybe they take precautions to kind of like. I don't think they would last. I don't think they can survive on only digital. So
no way.
Yeah.
No, they need to have made a product. Like they should have been making a game 20 years ago, so they have an external source of income. Their whole source of income is buying and selling games. And if you cut the middleman out like they are, then these companies make more money. So of course they're going to do that.
Yeah, you're right. It's just crazy. I mean, we're already getting like partial games anyway, so they just think they could get away with it. Because obviously when I say partial, game missing the ending or needs a patch or whatever like that, like Daymare. Remember, Joe, when I don't know if you saw that video I did on Daymare, what's on the vanilla disc and what the patch is, it's like night and day. So it's pretty
you had
insane.
the same problem with one of the Ramada games too, right? I remember you got that, and you
oh my god,
you were streaming it day one, and it was like it was total crap.
Because we mothered Broken Porcelain. I got it and it needed a patch, and I said, man, I just want to play the game real fast because the patch is going to take a long time. And when I played, I said, I couldn't believe this was released. It was a broken mess. And I was just shocked, dude. And I actually did a review like the same day. And it was just like, dude, like, what were you guys thinking? And I was kind of showing people, this is what's happening. This is what they're putting on disc. They're depending on day one patches for games. So
that is the strategy is we want the disc in hand like 3 weeks prior. And then you've got 3 weeks to make it patched to make that disc work.
Right. And just making the physical is just to appease the physical collector. But, can you imagine if you just if your system wasn't online and you played that game? Like you didn't want to connect to the internet or whatever, for whatever reason, or you just didn't have internet. And you put that game in there, you'd be like, what the heck is going on here? And their first thing they would say to you, oh, just download the patch. I don't have internet. But that's an extreme example, but it could happen.
There's people out there like that. There's plenty of people out there who don't have internet, especially in places like Australia or other countries. There's plenty of places that just don't have the internet or have
really slow
10 megabyte download
limit
or 100 megabyte.
Takes them all day to download a game. That's rough. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's one of the worst things about gaming nowadays is that when you're like, oh man, I want to sit down and play this game. You like pop it in, installing, wait, updating, wait. It's like, you get no instant gratification. PlayStation 1, you put it in, boom.
That's right.
We're playing, baby. Let's go. Like
it works. It doesn't have any glitches.
Well, I mean, it's some of them got some glitches.
I mean, some of them
but it's okay. I don't care. That gives them charm and character.
But let's if you relate to the guest we had, Martin, who used to be a game tester, he said the games used to have to go through testing, and if they had the glitches, they would get failed. Well, today they don't even have that process because they do have day one patches, and it's more profitable to just put it out and put out a patch.
We are the testers now.
Yes, exactly.
We are the testers. So when we get a new game on release, we're getting like the beta. And basically we play it all for 6 months, identify everything that's wrong with it, and then they patch it up later. And like you said, and then you don't get that version on the disc, and you don't get that, it's like
And-
maybe you'll get a re-release down the line with an updated version, but maybe not.
Yeah, so it's crazy to think about it like that, but that's what's been going on, and the companies are doing this because they want to reach these deadlines or whatever, and they don't want to rely on testers to need to do it. Like they just depend on the day one patch, because the testers obviously will take their time and go through everything properly, let them know about the bugs, but they're so obsessed with meeting these deadlines for their games that they just become obsessed with just exploiting the day one patch, and that's where we're at right now. I mean, I hate to go back to Remothered Broken Porcelain, but man, I was really utterly disgusted with that, buying that game and it being like that, because I feel like a disc is a final product, right? Like digital, they could do their patches, whatever, like that, but I feel like the disc should be the final product. Maybe a couple updates here and there, just the bug fixes or whatever, like simple stuff, like some typing error or something like that. But when it gets to the disc, it should be like the best that they think it should be at that time, or can be at that time, or whatever like that. So I just sent you guys an article. My cousin sent me this morning. I don't know how accurate this is, but it's saying games
we just started talking about that. Game is stopping trade-ins in the UK. It's so sad, man.
That's it. So are we talking about like high-end stores, Fixie, or
yes, a game isn't a big franchise like GameStop or EB Games. Only in the UK. They've got franchises everywhere, and it's a whole franchise that's stopping.
That's insane, dude.
That is insane.
It's not like it's a mum and pop shop. It's the UK too, which is the third biggest audience of buying physical video games behind Japan and the US. So it's absolutely crazy.
So was there? I didn't get to read the article all the way, but was there a reason why they're doing this? Like, do they have a main reason that they wanted, they're stopping this, or maybe it's just not lucrative enough for them, or I don't know, man.
The main predominant reason is the decline in physical game sales compared to recent years.
I think they're just trying to push that narrative, man, because I feel like the physical market of collectors is pretty strong. I mean, we may be niche, but I think we're strong enough to make a dent to where they would have to rethink, like, maybe we shouldn't all go all digital. Because
I personally would like to think that it's got to do with the cost of living, and obviously rent and all these other things are more expensive on these stores. And there would be people buy digital games today. They didn't buy them 10 years ago. So obviously that has affected sales. But I would assume these other things have influenced it as well. Obviously having COVID and people go out less today doesn't help. But
COVID was probably a really big surge for digital. I mean, obviously you couldn't go anywhere or whatever, so boom, get the digital version, play your game.
COVID would have got people who have never purchased digital games before to be like, how am I going to play this game? I can't leave the house. Right. Okay, I'll buy it digitally for the first time.
Yeah, and I don't want to order it and wait for it to come. Some people want it's the same thing. They want instant gratification. They want to be able to download it and play it.
And once you do something once, the next time a new game comes out, you'll be like, oh, I can just download it tonight and I don't have to go out.
But at the same time, I feel like, the Postal Service didn't stop during COVID, so you can still order the physical copy of games too. That's what
slowed me down one bit. Didn't slow me down one bit. And I know for a fact when the prices of eBay and all the games, that didn't slow down anybody else either. With COVID checks went up. Dude, everybody was buying games, man. The game prices went up like crazy when everybody got those checks. I know that's what people were spending their money on. I don't fucking know. Said that before. I'll die on that hill.
A stimulus check, man. Let's go to the game store.
Nobody was freaking saving grandma with that money. Nobody was paying them rent. They were just buying games, baby. Woo!
Yep. I really just hope. I have a stance on this. Obviously, if they stop doing physical games, I'm not saying I'm done with video games, but I'm not going to be like any high-end purchase like for digital content in the future. I just go back to the stuff I know. Obviously, all of us have like good collection of games we go back and play. There's still companies that are dedicated to making physical copies. We got Evercade, a limited run, even talked about how they plan on doing physical forever and all that stuff. So I feel like there's enough companies that would still keep physical going. It will probably be more like I don't want to say indie titles only, because some of these companies will do like bigger end games or whatever. But with the whole thing, I just don't want my stuff to be limited, of course, because everybody who wants a physical, I want them to get that copy. So I'm not saying limited run has to change their name or nothing like that, but just make sure
they're not limited anymore anyway.
They're not limited. Yeah, ever since the Embracer Group,
they're limited pre-order.
Limited pre-order. There you go. That's what they're limited pre-order. So
that's what they are.
Oh god, limited pre-order, and you get your item in 2 years. I think you just brought up a really good point, Reggie.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to gather that train of thought.
I got excited, man. I said I got to join this. I just came home and was about to cook a pizza, and I said I had to get on this with you guys because man, this really just this whole thing just really bothered me, man.
So the point I was just going to bring up is if it does go like that and content is suddenly digital only, well, guess what's going to come back? Piracy is going to be a huge figure again.
Yeah, 100%. Piracy, you got about Pirates with 2 eye patches. They're ready to go because they got hard. Dude.
You stop going, you don't own your games? Well, guess what? I'm not going to.
Reggie's going to have 2 eye patches and 4 peg legs.
I just thought I'd
That's a good point, though. If we don't own our games, well, why should we pay for them?
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. If you read the rules when you buy these digital games and what this says in there is you have the right to. You don't own this. You own the right to play this for limited as long as we say, pretty much.
It's a really expensive rental.
Yeah, it's really expensive. And the scary thing is with the newer systems, I want to say PS3 era and up, since the systems connect online, if you want them to, these companies have the option to brick your system. Like, hey, this system's not going to be able to play games at all. And I've been thinking about that for a long time. Like, they've done it before to certain systems. Yep. Like, you remember the Xbox 360s happen a lot.
360s.
Yeah.
So you get all the time. You're never going to be touched. You can pirate for your life. But, yeah, you connect to the internet on these other systems, and they can get you.
And they're watching everything you do. That's why the trophy and achievement system was implemented. It's a score system, but it's a way to watch how you play your video games and what you do. And that's why it's so they're very serious about it. Sony wasn't as serious about it until I want to say the PS4 era. But I noticed if you get a game early and you play it and you get your trophies, whatever like that, your trophies won't even be listed in your system. They won't even show it until the game is officially released or whatever like that. So, I mean, that's just their way of watching everything people do and how they play games and how to control people.
I've had a conspiracy theory about that for a long time where I swear to God that some games are designed to be psychological profiling tests that they sell to government agencies and to marketing agencies. The game is designed to give you all these morality choices to determine your political affiliations and determine all these things. And then they take that and sell that information. I swear to God that's
probably true. There's money in it.
I would do that. I would do that and make mad money. I just thought of that myself. So if I thought of it, I'm sure that these people thought of it too, and that's why you have to agree that we have, we're sharing you, we're watching this, we're studying you, we're uploading information. You have to consent to that stuff. Some of the games. So, also, I want before I forget this too. We were talking about how they say they're only doing it because physical games and that they're just trying to sell that narrative. I absolutely believe that this is a coordinated thing across the entire industry to push people in that direction and you said, push the narrative because they want to control prices. And that's what I hate the most about the digital marketplace is that you will not be able to find these super cheap copies of games that are on sale or on clearance that are getting blown out of the retailers because there's no reason to do it. They're $60. You want to download it? Cool. If you don't, cool. I don't care. I don't care because I'm not trying to make room for my new product and I'm not trying to clear these games out and there's no incentive for me to put these on sale cheaper than that. So it's going to be just like what Steam does where it's just there'll be a couple sales a couple times a year. And that's it. Other than that, everything is just full price forever. And I hate that. I think that's why they want us to be digital more than anything. They want us.
I want to elaborate on that and what Ubisoft would think. So if they're going down the subscription road, say Ubisoft sell a game $60, they make $20 profit. If that game gets sold again, secondhand market, they make nothing. But let's go to the whole subscription model. Say they get $1 for every $20 spent. But if you flip that over for 3-4 years, they're making more money from the subscription model than they're doing if they sell a game, because they can only sell that game once, where they can give you the subscription model 12 months out of a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So obviously it's beneficial to them. I can see it from their point of view.
And that's what Ubisoft is trying to do, right, with their subscription service?
Yep. Because there's way more money in $1 a month every month for the rest of your life than $40 once. And it makes sense.
Oh man, these companies want to make as much money as possible.
Yeah, and
Sorry.
subscriptions. These subscriptions, like, how much time are you putting into these things?
Yeah,
Paying for that. It's like, if you have Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, blah, blah, if you have every streaming, are you watching all of these things all the time on a regular basis? That's not how I watch TV. I usually watch a show, and then I watch a whole nother show. And so I really only need maybe one thing at a time. For real. Like, I don't need to have all that. And they want the same thing. They want to have it be like they're going to have an Ubisoft subscription, an Activision subscription, and then Game Pass, and then a Sony subscription, and then we're all going to be paying like $300 a month to play games. Like, I don't know, man.
I like to feel like I'm beating the system, and the way I use Game Pass is I'll only sign up when there's a game I want to play. I cancel my subscription the day I sign up, so it expires after the month. And I only ever sign up when I get a $1, hey, try Game Pass for $1. I'm noticing every time I turn my computer on right now, it pops up with join Game Pass for $1 today.
Yeah, which is fine, but that won't last forever. All that's just to get us lulled into the marketplace. It's like how it's on Netflix used to be mad cheap, and now it's just more and more and more and more and more and more and more. It goes up and up and up and up and up. It's the same thing with these services. They're going to get once. The only reason they're giving you these deals and they're offering those deals is they're trying to lure you into that marketplace. And once that's all there is, gone. It's gone.
I'm sure there's a percentage of people that, and it would be a significant, like 10, 15, that once they subscribe to something, they don't unsubscribe, they forget. And that's where they make their real money. And we just got you with a $17.95 a month charge, and you're not even using our service.
Yeah, dude. I'm not all about that. I'm too cheap for that. $17 a month, I could buy 2 crappy games for that much, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. And it adds up. Imagine if you did that for 10 months. You just spent $175, or a year you spent close to $200 on what? Did you play a year's worth of Xbox games? Did you play $200 worth? Probably not. I mean, you might have played 3 or 4 brand new games when they first came out, but they're not brand new games anymore.
So I guess I gotta say I am a lucky person, because I am so excited to go back and play an old game that I've never played. I am just as fucking pumped about playing a PS1 game that I've never played and as a PS5 game. I have no right now, believe it or not, what I'm so stoked about is I ordered the new Atari 400 Mini, dude.
Nice.
And because when my very, very, very first console, before anything, was an Atari XE computer, and that was the very first thing I played on, and me and my older brother, we saw this thing, and we both just oh God, man, I gotta have it. So I ordered it. I ordered the extra controller. I ordered a nice retro themed keyboard to go with it, dude. And I'm gonna play Ultima 4. I am so excited to play Ultima 4, bro. I'm more excited. Everyone, fuck Final Fantasy 7 Integrate. I'm playing Ultima 4, baby, and I'm gonna be pumped, dude. And I'm gonna have a great time with that. So, you guys could go ahead and do whatever you want and not make physical games anymore. I will be fine. I'll have no problem with that. And there are a million Saturn games I've never played, and TurboGrafx 16 games I've never played. There's endless amounts of stuff out there, so I'm not worried about it at all.
Not just played. There's stuff that I haven't collected before. If they stop making new games, I'll just collect old stuff, because that appeals to me. And
that's what'll happen.
I stopped collecting the old stuff because the new stuff's getting released too much, and you try and keep up with all these new releases. I'd love for games to stop for a while, and then you can catch up on the collection and start again.
Oh, I'll be collecting PS4 for a long time, I think. I think there's just so much stuff
I
on that
mean,
platform.
we can agree there's plenty to collect, but I think that it's like going to be like oh, hold on a second. Can you guys hear me still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. It's going to be like I forgot. I lost my train of thought. Damn,
Paul. He said limited
Oh.
runs can become a subscription.
I can see that, man.
I could see that. Super Rare does that. Somebody went over that on
Had a
the
good
show.
day, Banfi.
Later, Banfi.
Did you guys see the limited run news this week? That actually kind of pissed me off. Limited run have taken PayPal out of their payment options.
why? What?
They
You
did?
serious?
They've added some new service that I've never heard of before. Yeah, so
I
you
haven't-
can't buy limited run games through PayPal anymore. Just let that set in for a second. Like, what?
It's weird. I wonder. Well, I mean, I got an email from them saying they partner with this other company that makes it so they can ship out the games faster. And like, if they have like, so say I order like 5 games from them, and 3 of them are ready and 2 of them aren't. Supposedly now they'll ship the 3 that are ready, and you don't have to wait for it. So maybe that's part of that whole thing. Like, I have no idea, but no
They may have
PayPal.
had a financial company that they were partnered with as well, and
PayPal, do they charge a lot of fees or something? I'm assuming.
I mean they do, but
Yeah, it's just. I mean, to me, that's wild because that's like, especially for international sales.
yeah, I was going to add for international wild because like, how are these people going to? I'm not going to use my credit card on limited run. I'm paying with PayPal. There's
Right.
no way I'm using an Australian bank account to buy something in America. Like, what the hell?
They actually had some good games come out this week, though. Like, I'm pretty excited about the Rocket Knight Adventures compilation. That's pretty.
I
cool.
wish they would have added the Sparks for SNES on there too, though. That would have made it complete. But maybe what they'll do, Joe, is that they'll make the Genesis collection. Then they'll make Sparks for the Super Nintendo. Then they'll have the PS3 version on there as well.
Yeah, well, there was. I was going to say it was like an Xbox game too, or some shit, right? Or
Yeah, that generation one. I mean, it wasn't. Did you play that one?
No, I never even knew it existed until like last week when I started looking this stuff up.
Yeah, I thought it was cool back in the day. I liked it, but I guess like I was just more excited for the game than anything.
Mhm.
If you go back and play the older ones, I mean, they're way better. But it was kind of cool. They tried to bring it back. I believe the same people that worked on the new Strider 2014, they worked on the Sparkster game that came out.
No, cool.
But I don't know if it was really well received because when a mascot has a hiatus like that for so long, like people forgot who he was. It's just like, man, Sparkster, really? Like he wasn't really that popular even back in the day because Sonic and Mario like took over the mascots. Sparkster, Rocket Knight.
He needs to come back is Domino's needs to bring back the Noid. Let's
The
go.
Noid?
Let's go.
Ruining pizzas.
Hell yeah. That's what
But
they should.
man.
Remember that ad campaign they had where they were like, our pizza sucks. We're going to do better. They should have been like, we found out why. It was the Noid. And they should have brought back the Noid. It would have freaking, I'm telling you. Just sold mad pizzas. You guys don't know what you're doing. We need to bring Spot back for 7-Up too. We need to get the little cool dude with the shades. Let's go.
I did want to bring this up though.
Some companies have taken out mascots and it's like significantly cost their sales and they've had to bring them back.
Yeah. I did want to bring this up like earlier when we were talking about the physicals and everything. Microsoft and Sony would have to be on board to really make it work, I believe, because they're the big powerhouses, and Nintendo, of course, too. I don't think they have any intention of doing like digital only content because whoever stays around for physical is going to make a lot.
Hell
if
yeah,
the other companies leave.
That'll be. If Nintendo's the only physical, this will be the Nintendo Collectors Podcast.
Yeah, we'll switch it up, man.
We'll have a nostalgic PlayStation and Xbox section. We can talk about the old times.
I'll put a little
nostalgic podcast.
I'll put like a RAP Sony this date to this date. I'll leave it in the back there, and then just have a
I think we know for a fact that Xbox are 100% on the digital only side.
Yeah, they made so much money doing Game Pass, and even it's rumored their next system is going to be all digital coming out here in 2026.
Well, if Xbox had their way, they stopped physical content in 2014. They weren't going to make Xbox One games. Like that was their plan, and it was only backlash.
Yeah, because the TV thing was they were trying to promote the TV. Yeah, I remember that, dude. That was insane.
So I'm sure they're in their offices and their meetings going, "Is this the year we can finally stop making games, or do we have to make them for another 12 months?" We know for a fact that they would love to just can it.
You know, it's sad to hear that because I really like Microsoft. Everybody thinks I'm all about Sony always, but I like Microsoft too a lot. I mean, they really helped the gaming market a lot. I mean, they were the ones that pushed online. You know, Sony wasn't doing that, man. I mean, you remember how Sony was with online? Like they left it to the companies to make their online. No, Xbox brought that online network and they made it fun. So it's just insane.
The original Xbox was insane for gaming. Like it was a debuted console. Like okay, the PS1 was the same, but like to come in 2001 and to compete and actually like outsell the Dreamcast and outsell the GameCube, that is insane.
Yeah.
Imagine a new company today outselling the Switch and outselling the Xbox Series S. Like that's not
that'd be awesome. That'd be so cool to have a new system from a new player come out. I would love that. I really would.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool. I feel cursed bringing this system up, but you know, were you guys ever in the Amico conversation about that system actually coming out?
I followed it forever, but I didn't give no money to them, but I would love to have it. I love Earthworm Jim. So I was actually like, fuck yeah, Earthworm Jim, baby, I'll buy that. I would. It
was fake though. That's the thing. Like they just do something fake on there. They were like just banking on people's pre-orders, and then they say, "Hey, we'll start development now." That was a crazy thing. But yeah, I feel cursed talking about that. So we'll move on to something else. The Amico.
There's a lot of stuff like that. That's why I haven't gone in for a Poly Mega yet, just because so many people haven't got them yet, and I know that people have got them, so I have a little more faith in that it exists. Right. But it's like until people are like, yeah, I ordered one and it came in 2 weeks. I'm not doing that, dude. Although I really do.
Games, you know, they're at the point where exactly you don't buy them until you see people getting them in their hands, and then it's like, all right, now you can order them.
Yeah. That's exactly how I feel. So when people talk about that, I'm like, well, it's not like they're a total scam. I have games, they exist, but also I have games I've been waiting for almost 4 years and I haven't gotten them. So what do you tell me what's going on? I don't, you know. So supposedly they did send an update out. Did you guys get the newsletter?
Yeah, it was the same update that they've been putting out for the last 4 years. They've been delayed again. Sorry.
No, this one was that they had finally printed up a bunch of the Switch cases and that they were going to start shipping this summer or something. So
really,
but again, whatever.
If you find an email from 6 months ago, it'll say in the winter it'll be getting shipped.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys too. It's also safer for a physical release. It seems like for indie games, I would say, with all the companies limited printed companies out there. You know, when it comes to AAA titles, those are more the ones that would be digital only. Obviously, we got a taste of that with Alan Wake Part 2. Everybody wanted a physical for that, and they said, "Oh no, we're not making a physical because we want to." They made up some bullshit excuse, but we knew the deal. Like, you guys want to make that money and do all the patches and stuff or whatever like that, so you don't have to worry about a physical or whatever. But
that's fine if you want to. I don't care if they release their game digitally for 2 years before the physical comes out.
That's fine with me too.
I'm cool with it. Yeah, like you said, go ahead, sell it for a couple years, patch it up, do whatever you want to do. Put all the DLC, sell all the DLC you want, all the outfits, all the costumes, all the little fucking bells and whistles. Go ahead, but then, like you said, come out with a final product, physical complete edition, and sell it to the people like us who are patient, who would prefer to play that and have that experience.
Right. And I you know what's crazy, and also I like having games archived. You know what I mean? Like giving them a physical format gives them existence. You know, I mean, I feel like digital only, it takes away from that because they could get lost. Like if it wasn't for MAME, a lot of the arcade games would have been lost today. You know, because these companies only cared about them.
There are quite a few that
there probably are, and the companies only cared about them as long as they were making money. When those games start making money, they stop. Let's move on to the next thing.
Plenty of small arcade games that don't exist. That there was only a certain amount of boards out there, and they didn't sell very well. And they just got destroyed.
Shmups, there's quite a few shmups like that got certain versions of the game, like this label or that label, that like only like was like very few machines built that are super rare and wicked expensive to get the machines now and stuff like that. Like, yeah, collecting boards and stuff. That's a whole. I would love to get somebody on here who collects arcade boards, because that's a really cool hobby, dude. And
it's one of those things that if you collect boards, you kind of then have to have the space to then own the arcades, and put them in the arcades.
Yeah. But they're cool, man. I've seen people like they make like these custom cases for the boards, and like they put them inside of them, and they have like the names of the games like etched into the side of the metal and stuff. They look really rad, and that's the ultimate way to play. I mean, if you want like no lag, arcade perfect, that's the way to do it. But
I wanted to bring something up, and Reggie just brought up before about indie games today, and I think today is actually one of the best times ever for indie developers, because if you're an indie developer, the limit for printing a PS4 game is 1,000 copies. Like, that's $10,000-$20,000. You go to the bank, they'll give you a loan for that. It's not like you need $1 million to get your game out there. And there's companies like Limited Run that you can partner with, and you can actually, like, if you're a small company, you can actually get a physical game out there in people's hands, and it's not going to cost the arm in the world. That's cool. I love the fact.
And these companies are very helpful for a lot of those developers, man, which is nice, because they don't have the funds to do the physical on their own. So these companies have been really helpful for a lot of indie developers, man. Like, a lot of games wouldn't even see the light of day as physical. You made it as a physical.
And some of these games are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome that they're getting out there. Just because a game's got a company behind it that has millions of dollars doesn't mean the game's good.
Yeah, you know what else I find too?
Agree.
Believe it or not, I find like a lot of these indie developers who sell like cheaper titles, like $30 games, they put more love into the packaging than the AAA companies do. Like, you'll get like little manuals, little art pieces, postcards, like, you know what I mean? Like, these are passionate people that have been working on this game for years, and they're so proud of it. Like, I don't know you know what I mean? Like, you ever getting like a $30 game and it's got more in it than like a $70 AAA title? That's just a blank case with a disc. There's nothing. There's
extras and
no passion,
color.
no. Like you said, they almost feel like they're like, fine, here's your damn disc. Like, it's like begrudgingly, they're like, yeah, whatever, just put a disc in a case for them, throw it at them.
They've let someone who didn't work on the product,
so they showed up,
pick the pictures on the back, and AI's just written the blurb.
Yeah, or you get one that has like a little art book or a couple pictures in it, or a little keychain, or a little something.
That means
like
something to us, man.
Yeah, it does. It does to me. Like, I appreciate that.
My Life Matters just brought up something that's scary. Indie developers will boom this year with the help of AI, and that's scary.
Lord.
Because that's going to happen. This AI makes things easier. If it's easier and you can make money, well, people are going to do it. And if
we'll know though
these products, then
I'm gonna just sit down to the AI. Then I'd be like, give me boobies, explosions, flamethrowers, and dinosaurs. Bang, bang, bang. And then I'm just gonna have a game, and I'm gonna make millions. It's got to have that magic soup, man.
How do you guys feel about them? I feel like a lot today, man. A lot of the creativity is gone, obviously, because bigger companies are pushing developers just to kind of like meet deadlines, so they don't have the time to put the development in certain games or creative ideas, I would say. Like, I think the last creative generation was probably the PS2 era. Maybe even the PS3 era, I would say too. But a lot of companies aren't allowed to be creative and make certain IPs or whatever like that. Experiment, I would say. They're just more of them are focused on what makes money, and that's it.
Just look at Rockstar's releases. PS3, all AAA titles. PS2, they were putting out anything.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them were great. Some of them were like canceled, banned, but they still put them out because that's what their direction was. That's what their ideas were, and that's
that was the best time period too, man.
We got to get this past the board, and the shareholders have to vote if they want to approve this. And it's too.
Yeah, a game that got voted out by Rockstar, which I hate to say, man, was Bully 2. Like, I was really looking forward to Bully 2, but they like Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto was what makes us money. Even Midnight Club got pushed out, and that's a great
Max Payne got pushed out. Really good. Like, they're not small games either.
Well, Max Payne, I feel like they should push it out because like what Max Payne has been through, dude. It's like, man, how can they make Max Payne 4? But that's just
That poor guy.
It's like this poor dude, man. Come on, man. Like you gotta have me in part 3. Like let it go. But they could remake the series again, I guess. Yeah. But it's like he's really been through a lot. Like Max Payne Part 2, I actually played it a few months back. And it's like, man, this game starts up. I mean, it's an awesome game, but it's called the Rise and Fall of Max Payne. It's like, damn, like by the ending of the game, you're like, man, what the heck, dude? In the third game, it's just like, give this guy a happy ending. Like this, he's been through so much.
That's how I felt about that show 24. I'm like,
24.
yo, this dude's had more bad shit happen to him in one day than has happened to me in my whole life. His family got kidnapped 3 times in one day.
Dude, you know what's awesome too? That game,
your family.
The game is actually pretty awesome too. Like, they did a good job on the game. It is canon to the story.
It's PS2, right? Yeah, PS2 had the best like TV tie-ins.
No doubt.
So
it also had the worst,
games, dude. PS3's got a lot too that are again, actually they're pretty bad. I have I don't know, dude. I like the Lost PS3 game and the Prison Break games and stuff. Like they're terrible games. Like they're not good.
And NCIS and
yeah. They're not good, but I still
even
like them.
The quiz shows like Wheel of Fortune and things.
Oh,
like
those
that.
are good games.
Fun, man.
I almost always buy like the Jeopardies and Wheel of Fortunes and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and stuff. Yeah. They're fun party games too. Like when you don't know what else to play and you got like your family over and you're like, I don't know what the hell to put on for these people. Let's just play this. You know what I mean?
Buzz games are really good for that because you got controllers and everything. And
exactly.
And those would you guys like to play the Figsy quiz?
Hell yeah! I don't think Reggie's here, but hell yeah!
To get back. And it actually worked out really well. So this quiz can be done by 1 or 2 people. So it's perfect.
All right. Watchmen for PS3 is dope. I've been meaning to buy the pick up Watchmen on 4K. Actually, it's one of the ones on my list. It's a great movie.
I
heard the TV show.
I've got an incomplete copy, and I've been trying to complete it for years, but it's now expensive, so I think I've passed that boat.
You ready for the Figsy quiz?
Did I make it in time? Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's do this.
Always nostalgic hearing that sound. Before we start, we got a question for chat. Now, chat, here are 3 photos. Each photo represents a word, and the words spell out a video game title. So from these 3 pictures, you have to guess the video game title. First person to get the correct video game title gets the point. I'll leave this one up for a second. That's not easy. You're definitely going to have to think for this one.
Not yet.
All right, before we'll get into the quiz, you guys. Yeah, it's definitely a tough one. So today we have 20 questions. Reggie, you can go first.
Okay.
I'm glad you're here, Reggie. That's 20 questions by myself. God damn.
Yeah, it's going to be 20 questions for Joe.
Yikes.
I'm going to show you guys a photo, and it's going to include 20 video game titles. However, it's missing the first word. You have to guess which video game it is or which series it is based off the following words of the title. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Here it is. Reggie, you'll be on first. I need the title followed by the number.
Okay. Number 6 is Shantae.
Number 6 is Shantae. Reggie takes the first point. Joe?
Wait. You mean number 5?
Is it 5?
Is the number?
Oh, yeah, it is number 5.
I'm sorry. I messed up.
Like
5.
Shantae the Shadow Falls. What the fuck?
I know you meant that one. Yeah, sorry. Shantae is number 5.
Okay. 17 is Killzone.
17 is Killzone on PS4.
9 is Call of Duty.
9 is Call of Duty 2 on PS2.
Oh, that was right. I was about to say Medal of Honor. Yes.
16 is Paper Mario.
16 is Paper Mario, correct? Reggie?
12 is Ben 10.
12 is Ben 10. That's correct. Joe?
I never would have known that one. 18 is Fist of the North Star.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to do next.
18 is Fist of the North Star. Joe levels the scores. Reggie?
19 is Broken Sword.
19 is Broken Sword. Nice. That was one of the top ones.
Mm-hmm.
10 is Condemned.
10 is Condemned. Bloodshot. That's correct.
13 is Dragon Ball.
13 is Dragon Ball Raging Blast. That's correct.
Is 3 Klonoa?
3 is Klonoa. That is correct.
Good job, man. 11 is The Getaway.
11 is The Getaway Black Monday. That's correct.
Dang. 14 is Genji?
14 is Genji, Days of the Blade.
Oh, man.
Very good. Very good, man. 4 is Michael Jackson, The Experience.
Oh,
4
shit.
is Michael Jackson.
Stop doing the ones I know. Oh, fuck. It's 20. Oh, no, I don't know. That's a guess. I don't know if I want to go.
What do we have left?
8 is Phantasy Star 3, baby.
Nice.
8 is Fantasy Star. Joe takes the
I can't
point.
believe I didn't notice that till right now. It's like one of my favorite series of all time.
Did we already do 6?
Mm-mm.
No.
6 is Double Dragon 5, Shadow Falls, which is the worst Double Dragon game. People do not play it.
Joe?
Getting tough. Did we do 2 yet?
So we got 1, 2,
2 hasn't been done.
7, 20, 15.
20. Oh man, I think it's just a guess. Is it Rabbids?
I'll give that. 20 is Mario and Rabbids.
Okay.
Good job. And 1 has been done already, 50?
No.
1 has not been done.
I need to play it safe, though. Jeez.
I know. The
That's
text
crazy.
looks familiar, but I'm not.
Well, we only have a couple left, actually.
I
We got
know.
1, 2, 7, 15, and 20.
No, I got 20. I just got 20.
Oh, yeah, so you got 20.
So 1,
Yeah,
2, 7, and 15.
Yeah, it's 4 left.
I feel like I know 2, man.
Two is killing me. I know it.
Yeah, it is. I've seen it.
I've seen it a million times. It's like definitely like.
I know for a fact you both know it. So.
Yeah, I know, man. We probably talked about it today or something, I feel like it's. Oh my god, dude! I can't, and I hate that. Dixie, you got to start a timer too, man, and make us sweat more when we're like waiting on these. Like the Dixie timer comes on or something like that. I'm gonna try number 1, and I'm gonna say Medal of Honor.
Shit, that's what I was gonna guess.
Number 1 is not Medal of Honor.
Oh, damn!
Yeah, I was going out there.
It
Okay,
did. It looks.
right?
The text looks exactly like a
It
Medal
does.
of Honor game. That's totally 100% what I was gonna guess. Fuck. Oh, Retribution. Something in my brain tells me this is a racing game, but I don't know why. That may not be right. Shoot, I don't. I don't know. Caught in the act. Let me think about that one. Who'd
The
be
scores
caught?
are quiet, so it might come down to just getting 1 more point.
What if we know what type of game it is? Is that worth half a point? If we know we get the genre of game right.
Caught in the act.
If you can just sort of describe the game to me, but yeah, I'll think about it.
This is tough, man. Wow, I can't believe
Like if I can think, you know the game, you just can't think of the title.
I know part 2, but I don't know why I can't picture it for some reason. I feel like it's
I feel like it's a PS3 game for sure. I don't know if I'm throwing out false hints here. All right, I gotta guess something. Defender of the Future. What a generic thing. Freaking hell, dude. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pass, dude. I don't want to sit here forever. I gotta think about it more.
Okay.
All right, so we both reviews on one strike. I'm going to change the rules now. I'm going to open up the scoring to both of you. There's 4 left. Next person to get a point wins.
Oh, come on.
Crap. Casey, sudden death.
So we have 15, 7, 1, and 2.
I'm going to say 2 is Terminator.
2 is not Terminator. And he's even tell me the system that it's on.
I thought it was PS3. God, I've seen that. That's driving me crazy, dude.
I will say it's not on the PS3.
Oh, that's fair. Thank you. That's a good hint. Number 1 is Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future. I don't know.
Number 1.
Oh, he got it.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
It was a joke. You got it, man.
Kidding me?
Now, look at. I'm looking at the comments on my side now. That they're throwing out the answers now.
Well,
sorry, guys. I had to do it on my own. No, I didn't know.
Comments, dude. That was a joke. It just looked like water to me, and I was like, I thought I saw a little fin, so I was like,
that was
an Echo the Dolphin, brother.
You nailed it.
That was good.
Wow, dude.
I'll bring up the ones you missed. So number 15 was a Wii title.
Oh, no way I would have got that.
DS title. You go Robo. Which other one?
I can't believe that was right.
Number 7 was Garfield Caught in the Act. And number 2, can't believe he's missed this one.
Neither can we.
Resistance. And I own that game.
Me
Come
too.
on, man.
The PSP one. That's what screwed with me. Because
I know, right?
Resistance 1, 2, or 3.
It wasn't popular. It was like a top-down, like isometric game too. It was weird.
And as soon as I said it wasn't on PS3, Resistance would have just gone out of the brain, right?
Right.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's so funny, dude. I cannot freaking believe that was right. I literally was like, I made that. I thought that'd be funny.
Yeah, that was good, man.
The future, the fish from the future. Dude, what?
I'm just scrolling back to see if anyone got the chat question. I can't see it yet.
That was crazy. Did anyone else even say Echo in the chat? I'm just curious.
I'm looking on my end.
Right? Oh, somebody did.
Somebody on my end said it. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, we got it. Well, I will just bring up chat's question again because no one's got this yet. So, chat, here is your question.
Come on, my buddy. Level 1 online's got to give this. Come on.
Now, we are changing the rules a little bit. I'm only going to give out points if they're answered live on the show. So, if you get the answer after the show, you won't be awarded a point.
All right. I'll grab a slice real fast.
I have no idea what that chat question, let me tell you.
It's a tough one. It is a tough one, but chat are getting better, so the questions are getting harder. You just got to know, Jack. You just have to know.
It's the state where they make a lot of potatoes.
Oh, you gave it away.
It is what it is.
You got any new games you've picked up on DVDs or anything, Joe?
Yeah, I picked up some. So I have tons of games in the mail, but nothing showed up. But I have some. I did pick up some 4Ks. If you want?
Nice.
Shout them off real quick. So first one I picked up. Well, I'm gonna do the big screen thingy.
Yeah.
Might as well. I got Jurassic Park there.
Ooh, is that the original one?
Yeah, it's the first movie. I also ordered part 2 and part 3, but for some reason this is the only one that showed up. Which is freaking annoying because I'm like, I don't want to watch this until I have all 3 of them. And what's funny is like they actually had like a pack 6 movies that came with their 3 originals plus the 3 new ones. And I specifically went out of my way to just buy the 3 originals because I fucking hate the new ones. Yeah. I can't stand Jurassic World movies. They're just soulless. They're so like I don't care about anything that happens from the beginning to the end of the movie.
They were some of my favorite movies as a kid. Like I look forward to watching Jurassic Park.
The Park movies, 1 and 2. I love part 1 and part 2. 3 is all right.
3 was all right. Like
3 is
a
all
terrible
right.
movie.
it's fine. It's 3 is more like the World movies, where I just felt like it's more of an amusement park ride than a story. It's just like, here we go, whoa, stuff. That's all it is. But there's elements of that in both movies. But like, I don't know. I just want to
talk to chat for a second. You're on the right track, but no one has got the answer yet.
Then I also picked up this god-awful movie just because I have the original and I love the original.
Nice one.
So the original Blade Runner is like one of my favorite movies I've ever made. This one's fine, I suppose. It looks really cool in 4K. Like, it looks neat on my TV, but it's not one of my favorite movies. It's another one where they cuck out the main character from the first movie. And, like, Harrison Ford is just this sad old man. And I'm just like, just don't even put him in the movie. Just don't even put him in the movie. Like forget it. Like, stop doing that. Like, just let it go. And then I picked up 4 of the Star Wars movies because I'm trying to get all of these. So I got
the whole set.
So I got New Hope, Empire, Revenge of the Sith, and Attack of the Clones. I need to get Return of the Jedi and Phantom Menace. And then I'll have all the ones I want. I just want the 6 George Lucas films. I don't want any of the other ones because I'm one of those people that Star Wars ended when Disney bought Star Wars. I can't stand anything that did sense. Rogue One was okay.
It wasn't when the Death Star blew up. It was that moment there.
I didn't hate Rogue One. Mandalorian's okay, but it doesn't excite me, and I don't find it even interesting. And I'm still quite bitter about what they've done to the franchise overall. I just find it to be absolutely tragic, beyond all words, that they didn't plan the fucking story for those 3 movies, and they let multiple directors handle them, and it was just a big shit show. Like, I don't even care what story they decided to tell, but it would have been nice if they had a planned, cohesive story that had a planned, cohesive set of character arcs. Like, stories are supposed to have character arcs. Like, if a guy starts out real up high and he's successful, and he can end low and it's a tragedy, or you could start out low and he could end high and it could be like, you could have it. And they just don't have any of that. Like, perfect example is Finn's character. His character arc is nothing. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't accomplish anything. He doesn't grow in any way. He doesn't. It's just he's just there, and that's the problem with every character in the movie. They're just fucking there. Nothing. It's just ugh. The whole thing is ugh.
I remember Luke Skywalker training with Yoda, and he turned in from some kid to this Jedi Master, and he went through that whole progression of 3 movies to get to that point,
Yes.
And then the new ones, I forget the lady's name, but she's like, it just knows how to be a Jedi Master. No training,
Yeah. So the prequels are about the fall of Darth Vader. He starts out here, he's a Jedi Knight, and he ends up Darth Vader. So you see the decline, the tragedy of Darth Vader. And then the original films were the New Hope. It was like the rise of the Jedi, the return of the Jedis, the end of the Empire, Luke becoming what he's supposed to be. So any logical human being with even the remotest amount of talent, or the remotest, any type of respect for the series, they should have started out the new series with Luke being like the shit. And he should have been like the head of the Jedi Empire, and he should have been running the show, and he should have been the fucking man. And then if they were smart, they would have showed the betrayal of Kylo Ren and Ben, and how he betrays Luke and like kills Luke. And it was like a huge tragedy. You could see the fall of Luke in that way. And it would have made sense. But the way they did it, it's just like Luke was like up here, and they just tell the new story, and they just put him like, he's like, I'm just like lonely and I'm in the middle of nowhere. And I'm not, it's just, it was so stupid the way they did that. Like, the whole story about Ben becoming, Ben Solo becoming evil was like a flashback for 2 seconds. Like, no, tell that story. That should have been the story. It should have been, what it should have been is that Ben, all right, so Luke is training everybody. There's the new Jedi Empire. Ben Solo is his star student. Everybody loves him. Everybody thinks he's going to be the shit. And then he finds Rey, and then Rey surpasses his abilities. He becomes extremely jealous of that and becomes evil and tempted by the Dark One because he's getting bad advice by some Sith Lord who turns out to be,
the janitor or something, whoever wanted, whatever. That would have been the story. It would have been great. It's such an easy story to write. And I don't mean to go on about this. I shouldn't have shown Star Wars. I could talk
No, it's good you're passionate, man. It was funny. I went into the last 3 movies as a casual, so I enjoyed the first one, and I even enjoyed
fine.
The next one after that, which was what was it called?
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. I thought that was cool because the whole thing with Luke doing the projection, whatever you call it, and then the whole scene with Leia, seeing her powers for the first time. I thought that was amazing. But when I told other Star Wars fans how I felt about it, man, they thought I was crazy. She's like, dude, man, like, that's not impressive at all. Like, they showed her powers or whatever like that. I was like, oh, okay. But coming to what you're saying, though, man, they could have did a lot of things better. It just seems like the movies weren't really planned out. They just made one and they start writing the story for the next one. It's supposed to be have a plan for these characters, and that's the way it should have been. It didn't. If you watch those movies now, you don't see that. But in the original trilogy, you can see how they planned the series out. Because if you remember, Empire Strikes Back was crazy. That was way different from the first Star Wars. And then the hero got his ass whooped. I mean, he got beat bad.
And he had people on the street talking about it. Like, it was huge.
Oh, yeah. And then the ending of Empire was just like, holy crap.
Yeah. And then I got to mention the whole scene with Billy D. Williams wearing Han Solo's clothing. Like, they mentioned that he's wearing this, like, that was kind of weird. No one said anything about it, but okay.
That is really weird.
Like, I'm the new Han Solo. It was just funny. But Empire Strikes Back is really like, man, was a twist, and it shows you that the way they wrote it out was great, man. The way they didn't do that with these movies. They just rushed them out because they had the license for it finally, and they were writing their own Star Wars.
I know they can put out a movie called Star Wars and have Disney on the name. It's going to make a certain amount of money, regardless if it's good or not. And that's what we got.
Star Wars was the first movie where people were sleeping outside for it. That's crazy fandom right there.
The whole and like literally. The whole, like, they set up Snoke to be some big bad thing, and then he's like, he's nothing. Yeah, he's shit. He's not. The Palpatine's back somehow. He just is. I'm like, what the hell, dude? That is literally, they're like, he's just back somehow. Are you fucking kidding me? This is like worse than like Saturday morning cartoon type shit. This is worse than like the comics in the funny papers and the new, somehow. What do you mean somehow he's back? What are you talking about? Like, oh God, just. It was literally disrespectful. It really was. Like, it was frustrating.
It's not over. They're making more. Didn't you hear the lady the other day going,
I mean,
the directive of the new Star Wars.
Maybe it'll be good. Who knows? Maybe they'll learn. Maybe they'll hire somebody who actually likes Star Wars.
It's too big of a franchise to let it sit.
Correct answer from Chad.
Uh-oh.
I didn't think anyone was going to get it.
What we got?
So, correctly answered, Yo Noid. This was a tough one.
What?
It was Yo Noid. Congratulations, son.
Yo No ID. Really wow, dude. I would never in a. Why are we? How is the Noid come up again in this conversation?
Yeah.
What the hell?
While I'm eating a pizza too. Dude, I was like, damn.
Something's weird.
I got a pretty cool thing to talk about today. Not a new pickup, but this is a game I've had for years. It's one of my, I would just say, favorite PS3 games, but it's definitely a hidden gem that you should definitely play this once. So this game is called El Shaddai, Ascension to the Megatron. I would say this is like Devil May Cry if Devil May Cry took acid. That's a pretty good way to describe it. It's like literally, it's crazy. Some of the things you see in this game is just insane. It's a fun hack and slash game, but it's just the things you see in this game is absolutely crazy. And I've put up some gameplay to show you guys. So check this out.
Right on, heck yeah. Okay.
Definitely tell it's a
combo system.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy game. This.
What was funny about this game, Fixie, this game was so cheap, like from GameStop a couple of years ago. Like knowing, like I was going for under $10, like almost like $5, and then the boom came, and this was one of the ones that shot up in price like crazy.
Last I looked, it was like a $60 game. I'm not sure what it is right now. And yes, I'm the stars. It's getting a Switch remaster.
Oh,
so
really?
If you haven't got it on PS3, it's coming to the Switch, so you can pick up a cheaper copy. So
there you go.
Yeah, it's coming out this year. This is a remaster for the Switch coming out.
The
I
Switch is-
googled the title of the game on YouTube, and the first thing that came up was El Shaddai Radical Reggie.
Wow.
Hmm.
Dude, I did a video years ago called Before They're Gone. And it's basically like a lot of the games in GameStop before they cleared them out or whatever like that, like the last generation systems. They had
I
so
remember
many
those
PS3
videos.
games, dude. And Xbox 360 games. I looted, man, I tore it up, man. Like, it was awesome. Like, got all these games. And then I did a video about them, and everybody loved them, dude. Like, everybody was going to GameStop looking for these games because they were so cheap. Like, GameStop did not want it. Like, they were like, out of here.
Dude, I remember those series. I watched like all those, and then I remember when the digital store was closing too. You're like, "Yo, get on there, get all these games." Son." I wonder how much
Yeah.
money Sony made during that, because they backed off shutting that down real quick. They're like, "We just made
Yeah.
friggin' $100 million." Hey,
They would
I
have
know,
made
right?
more money in the like 48 hours than they would have made in the last like 4 years from the
They
PS.
didn't even thank us for making those videos. They just, hey, you know, thanks a lot, you know.
no, that's the new business model. Every like year or so, they'll just come out and threaten us. Like, you better buy some shit, bitches. We shutting it down. We're like, all right. Hold on. I'll buy some. I'll get Scott Pilgrim or whatever.
They can't threaten us for long, man, because like I said, man, when it comes to like when them taking away games, piracy kicks in and makes certain games available again, you know. Yeah,
absolutely. And then you know, I can't wait. So with piracy, it's always like, for me, it's the memory is the issue. It's like how much space it takes up. It's like you just have to wait until, you know, you can get like all the PS3 library on like a hard drive that costs $100. Oh
Right.
Yeah, baby. So right now, if you wanted to like have the entire PS3 library on an SSD, like you're spending a lot to get that on there. You know what I mean? You probably have to buy multiple SSDs, but once it's like caught up to that point, you know, because it's funny because like I have like no desire to collect cartridge like Nintendo and SNES and stuff anymore, just because it's like, dude, I can emulate the entire library on a micro SD card and play it on anything, like anytime. It's so easy and convenient.
it is.
So once it becomes that way with PS3, it'll be like the same thing. The only thing I like never get rid of is my PS1 and PS2 stuff. I feel like I'll just never get rid of that because I love it. Because that's that's the complete on cart stuff, like on disc. Like I never have to, like, that's the stuff like I just can't get rid of. But anything that comes with updates and anything that has that digital hook to it, I'm like, whatever. I don't care. Like it doesn't hold the same thing for me.
The
Yeah, you're
PlayStation.
spot on. And now I'm selling stuff. I haven't touched the PS1 collection. A few PS2 titles I'm getting rid of because there's a lot of crap on the PS2, and you'll probably be guilty for this too. When I was collecting back in the day PS2, I would just buy anything I didn't own. So I accumulated a lot of shovelware crap, and it's like, why do I own 5 Barbie games or 5 Bratz games on PS2? Like, they're expensive games; they're like $50 a pop.
Yeah.
May as well get that money, you know.
But you bought them on the cheap though, because I'm
I
pretty
got
sure you got them when nobody cared.
$2 each because I didn't own them. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a win.
Yeah, PS2 is one of those systems too where it's easy to find like giant bundles of games still. People.
Yeah.
I just remember back in the day, like just loading up a PS1 game, that chime it had when you loaded that game, just really just put a surge in your body, man, because you knew you were about to play something good like that. They need to bring that theme back, man.
I agree. That's what I was saying in the beginning of the show. I did the new intro, and I was like, I have the PS1 intro, PS2, and the PS3, but I'm like, now we don't got no boot up screens. We don't have any good. And like PS4 and PS5 sucks when you boot it up. It's just like, warning, don't play too long. You'll get sick and tired. I'm like, I don't need a warning when I play video games.
You know that reminded me of
with this. What is
you ever see that PlayStation commercial celebrating their 20 years of being in the gaming industry? It shows the kids playing the PS1. And the camera spins around their room, and time goes by.
Yeah. That's a really awesome commercial.
That's one of the best commercials I've ever seen, dude. Because it was like a time capsule watching that commercial, and
you were reliving those memories in your head while you did it. Same thing.
100%, man.
100%. I got my PS2. I remember I got that. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I still got like my original systems too, and they still work. I mean, we did put some work in on the PS1 to get it, like change the laser out and stuff like that. But I still got my original system. Excuse me, everything. But yeah, man, the PS1 era, PS2 era, those are to me were the best generations. The 5th and 6th generation of video games were the best for me. Some may argue the fourth, of course, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I get it.
Mhm.
You know, that could be included. But for me, fifth and sixth, man, that was it.
So I feel like I obviously would. There's so many cool 3D games that came out that weren't available in the other generations, and I'm sorry, but like I agree with you. I'd prefer even if it was a rough transition into 3D, like I still love all those games. Like I love Twisted Metal, dude, and I love like a lot of Spyro games and Crash games, and I even Super Mario 64, and so everything that the other generations had to offer still was offered in the next generation. You can still get great sprite work, and you can still get great RPGs, and you can still get great this and all that other stuff. So maybe the titles, you could argue the library, you might like certain games on the older systems better, but I just think overall that generation had more to offer.
Well, Squaresoft is actually, I call them Squaresoft, Square Enix. Squaresoft is their old name. But they're actually smart with what they're doing for their RPGs. They're going back and remastering a lot of their older classic titles. You know, and with the newer titles, they're doing like more of like that new sprite work. I don't know what they call it. I forgot what they call it, but like what they did with the Star Ocean remaster. But they're doing a lot of that. And man, I beat Star Ocean, got all the endings, and I got my platinum trophy on that game. Like that's how much time I put into that because the nostalgia for that game is just like unreal. And
I've seen you went and done all the side things for it as well. I'm like, damn, that's commitment.
Dude, I went all out, man, because like I said, the memories with that game back when I was in school, freaking like I loved it, man, and I still do to this day. And I love the voice acting. I love what they did, man. I have to support that type of stuff. So hopefully Square Enix will do that in the future with other games. So yeah.
Well, I usually love Square's business model, but I'm not happy with what they've done with the whole Pixel Mastery collection. Obviously, like, it's selling every week for like over $1,000 on eBay, and they still haven't reprinted it yet. And they're the one company that they still reprint PS1 games.
I know, right? They have them on their store. So with that Final Fantasy collection, is it the PS4 or the Switch version that's really rare?
It's the North American PS4 version because there's no.
The PAL PS4 version is worth a shit ton too.
And then the Switch version is expensive, but it's not as expensive because you can get an English version in Asia.
So it was exclusive from their store? Is that what it is?
Yep. And it was sold at like midnight and
and they sold it in the middle of the night, dude. I woke up at like 7 a.m. and it was already sold out. I was furious.
Wow.
I was because I'm like, what do you? I just woke up. What do you mean it's sold out? Who puts a game up for sale in the middle of the night?
I know.
Oh man,
like
I'm still salty about it.
It's terrible.
They try to do limited run type stuff. I remember limited run, you had to get up at 6 a.m. Some people probably already up at that time, but still, you don't want no certain time to go to the store. Like, man, just have it.
But they would have to know the demand behind that because, like, how do you not know your fans? Like, how do you not know that your fans are now paying 10 times what you sold it for this year or last year? Like, that's insane to me. Just reprint it. Unless they're the ones on eBay selling them for $1,000 a pop.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
That'd be a good hustle, I guess.
They did reprint them, Figsy. They just didn't tell anybody.
One at a time. You're gonna get all of yours.
Maybe Video Games Plus will get some copies in or something like that. Who knows?
God, if they did reprint it, oh man, people would be so mad.
Well, do you think they would they reprint it for PS5? Maybe they just want to put it on a newer generation system.
That'd be cool.
PS4.
That'd be
fun.
But
it's not like it's going to use new hardware. It's an 8-bit remaster.
Right.
The Pixel remaster needs.
But it seems like everybody's skipping PS4.
They can make a mobile version. It'll play the exact same.
It is weird, man. I feel like, man, these companies are skipping PS4 to PS5 for indie games that could be on the PS4, but they don't need to be on the PS5. But I don't know.
I've seen it more and more. I keep seeing the Switch copy and the PS5 copy only. There's no PS4 copy. I keep seeing it over and over. And it's like almost driving me nuts. I'm like, Switch shouldn't get one. It's not even as good as the PS4. It's like,
Dara said that Play Asia have sold 20,000 Switch copies of the Final Fantasy Remaster collection. That's insane.
I bet. Insane. It was expensive for a while too. I remember they put up like initial pre-orders for like, I can't remember, like 70 or something, and then those sold out like immediately, and then they did like another round and they jacked the price up to like 90. And I think those sold out, and then they brought it back down again. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while, but
well, there will be more because I haven't bought my copy yet, Cyrus, and I was one of those who was kind of hoping that would reprint the PS4 copy. But
well, if you get it, which one would you play first? Because I don't think anybody's going to play them in order.
I'll start number one because I like
really
OCD like that. Yeah.
Right on.
I'd probably start with 3, like on the cart, not 6, like 3. I'd play the ones that didn't get released. Yeah, I did play the Japanese ones that didn't get released over here. Because I've played 1 and 2 and 3 that got released over here back in the day.
Well, 1 and 2, I believe, are really short games. And at least I know 1 is.
1 is super short.
1 and 2 are meant to be 5 and 10-hour games or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get longer as they go on. But it makes sense, you know. It was like, what was an RPG back in 1990 or 1989?
That's why Dragon Warrior smoked that game back in the day. Dragon Warrior 3 had some content, baby. That game was massive, dude. I remember putting hours into that game. Oh yeah, dude. I'm wicked pumped. They're doing the remaster of Dragon Warrior 3. That's supposedly coming out this year. I've been really hyped for it.
Yeah,
like
I think
favorite one.
Final Fantasy didn't really start getting popular until 4, which is known in America as 2. With Cecil and those characters, yeah. And then they skipped 5 and went to 6, which is 3 here. And I consider 6 to be the best one in the series, at least story-wise. Yeah,
my favorite, for sure.
So
I would say 9, but
9 is a great choice. 9 is like a love letter to Part 6.
Mm-hmm.
It really is, man. I mean,
you could say 7, you could say 9, you could say 6. They're all right answers.
My personal favorite. A lot of people look at me like I'm crazy. I remember me and Jason were on a panel once, like for one of the conventions, and they say, "Hey, what are your favorite Final Fantasy games?" I said, "Mine is Final Fantasy 8," which is like people bash it because they didn't like the junction system. But I love that game, dude. Like it's freaking badass. But
have you guys seen the meme where there's a kid up on the classroom and he's writing the answer, and he turns around to his mate and his mate's holding up the best Final Fantasy, and he writes like instead of 7 or 8, he writes Tactics on the board.
Really?
Yeah,
Tactics is dope.
It is.
I'm not gonna lie, I like Tactics a lot. 8's a good game. It's hard though. It's like it was honestly I think it was too complicated for Americans. That's the truth. I think that it was a too complicated game. No, seriously, there's been historical examples to time and time in games, Japanese people having to dumb games down for Americans because we're too stupid.
That's true.
That's one of them that probably could have used that, because I was overwhelmed when I played that at first, because it was like, you had to level up everything, including your magic. Like you had to level up your spells to get them better, and like I wasn't sure what to do, so I was just like leveling up every type of magic with every character. Like I spent like 20 hours and I didn't make it out of like the first freaking zone of the game. You know what I'm saying? Because I just kept grinding and kept grinding and kept grinding and kept grinding. I don't know. It was just
this might be an unpopular opinion, because I didn't play I didn't play my first Final Fantasy game until I was an adult. I played Dark Cloud as a kid, and I didn't own Final Fantasy. So I'd say like probably like the new 7 is actually my favorite, and I'm hoping that the next one, Part 2 and Part 3, come out. It's just equally as good, because I played that before playing the original Final Fantasy 7, and like it's an amazing experience for myself.
Yeah, I didn't think I would be into the new remake as much, just because I prefer the classic games. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it offered enough additional content, additional experience, that it was its own thing. Like I try not to compare it to the actual 7. Like the story is similar, but like the experience is very different. It just is. The gameplay, the missions.
We need a
Dark Cloud is dope. Yeah, I really enjoyed the remake. I actually played it twice, which is, for me, for an RPG, that's like unheard of.
I was just about to say that it's one of the few modern RPGs/JRPGs that I finished it, and I wanted to play it again. Like that never happens to me in RPGs. I wasn't interested in the story. I just wanted the gameplay. but
Mhm.
still, like, I wanted to play it again.
Yeah, it
That
was
never
dope.
happens.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I bet the new one's going to be awesome. I really do. I just have a good feeling about it.
So do
And
I.
like I said, I'm thoroughly enjoying 16.
Have you gotten to any like serious boss fights in that game yet?
I mean, I guess depends on what you.
So when it first came out, they were saying that some of the boss fights in that game were like overheating people's PS5s and
Really? Well,
Yeah,
damn,
yeah.
I haven't had that happen yet. Something to look forward to, though. It better not melt my fucking PS5.
Sorry about that, guys. My computer was acting up.
That's all
Yeah.
good. Yeah, we're just talking about Final Fantasy VII integrated, and then also oh, what the heck's that? You know, what looks insane, dude. Is the Grand Blue Fantasy relink, dude? That
Yeah,
looks
I was playing it today.
amazing, dude.
They have a it's a free download for it, but it's like
The demo.
it's not a demo. It's it's kind of like the full game, but they only give you access to certain characters. So I played the whole arcade mode, and
Okay.
I'm not gonna buy it unless it becomes a physical. But they had my main character there is available, so I was like, this is perfect for me. So I just downloaded it. I played it earlier today, and it was a lot of fun. Lots of characters available when you get the full version, of course. But yeah, man, you should download it and try it out, man.
Yeah. Am I thinking of the right Grand Blue game? There's an RPG coming out, I thought. With Grand
Blue.
Fantasy.
Oh, that's the uplink one or something like. I think that's what it's
Yeah.
called. Is that what you were talking about originally? Or,
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I thought you were talking about the fighting game.
Oh, I have that one too, which is dope. But no, I meant the RPG that's coming out.
It's an action RPG, right?
Yeah, dude, it looks so good.
Really? Co-op?
I don't know if it's co-op. I think it's
got-
Relink. Grand Blue Fantasy.
Relink, yeah.
I'll have Madison play it right now.
Fighting game, action role-playing game. So it says it's both. I'm fucking confused. Maybe it's not the game. All I know is the new Grand Blue game that's coming out looks really good. I think it's an RPG. No, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The combat looks freaking awesome though. And I've seen people doing like insane like chains. You can like chain super moves between all the characters and stuff. Dude, it just looks really dope. Yeah.
I should probably try it out, man. I'm still playing these other RPGs, so I gotta get caught up. But definitely I'm gonna keep my eye out on that one as a main game to play here in the future, because we don't have a Tales game this year. At least as of right now, I don't think we're gonna have a Tales game this year. So
I've still got Tales of Arise to play, and it was game of the year
great.
2021.
I'm at the end of that game, and I still haven't finished it. And then they came out with DLC for it, which is crazy.
See, they brought out the DLC, so now I'm like, do I get the complete edition? Play?
Oh, you should wait.
Do I just?
I would wait.
They're definitely
and play
gonna
it,
release
and
it.
work, see if it's worth it. You know, I don't want to play this when it becomes cheaper. You know.
Well, it's already super. The regular copy has been insanely cheap
I got it
for
for like
that game.
$10.
No, this is the DLC though. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
It was one of
you
those
might as
few
well
games that did get the PS4 and PS5 treatment, and the PS4 version was cheaper. So like they stopped that, but there was a time there where you could just pick up the PS4 version like $10 cheaper than.
That's what I was trying to do. Like I thought the PS4 version would be the more required version because you could play it on both systems with the upgrades and all that stuff.
It makes sense. You're actually buying two games, not one.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's
People look at me
cheaper.
like I was
Like,
crazy.
it's a no-brainer, right? It gives you the upgrade to PS5.
But I started catching on with it, like with Horizon, Forbidden West. They did it with that on accident. Then they said no more after this. So we were starting to see it.
I mean, look, if they're going to be like Final Fantasy 16 and be like, this is a PS5 game because it only works on a PS5, it wouldn't run on your PS4, I'm fine for it. But if it's going to be like, yeah, this would play on a PS3, well, put it on the PS4 then. If you're going to just make it a PS5 game, you know. If they're still keeping the system backwards compatible and everything, you might as well.
Right. I totally agree. You know, now, I guess you guys ready to see a quick pickups? Because I was actually working on a video for some of this stuff. It's on the table here, so I might as well show you guys. Joe, I'm sorry, man. I know you don't like cart games.
What'd you do?
Cartridge.
No, I like cartridge games. I just don't collect them.
You're not collecting them right now. El Viento for the Sega Genesis.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, this came from Retrobit. Obviously, this is a reproduction of the game they created, but it's pretty awesome looking. You know, definitely better than the American cover we got for it. From what I've seen, it's like an action platform game. You know, like old school. It's made by the same people who made the Tales series, the Wolf Team.
Oh,
No
nice.
kidding.
This is some of their first titles right here. So I'm looking forward to trying this out eventually. I don't feel like hooking the Genesis up right now, so I might just play it off of an emulator. I got my buddy Level Online sent me the Xbox 360 version of Super Street Fighter 4.
Oh,
Hell
so
yeah. I
little
love
bit of-
Street Fighter 4.
I know, man. This is a really good game. A little bit of old school there, so happy to play
Hell yeah.
that.
Especially after playing 5. I really like 4.
I also got from my buddy Jason the Last Blade comic. I didn't even know this existed. This is the
That's
story
cool.
of the Last Blade game.
Okay.
So Last Blade Part 2, like awesome game. So definitely I love the lore in this. So I'll check that out later. He also sent me this Lego Power Ranger because knew the Green Ranger is my favorite Ranger, Tommy, the old school. I mean, I'm not talking about the good guy. I'm talking about the mean Tommy that was beating him up, all of them up. That's the one. Like, there's a freaking like a
Before
short
it
out
became
there.
the White Ranger, all that crap.
Yeah, like there's a skit someone put out there of him just beating up the Rangers. Actually, he jumped in the Megazord and beat him up in the top office and threw them all out, dude. It's so funny how he throws them all out because it has that camera view like under the camera and shows them like flying over. It's hilarious. But yeah, Green Ranger all the way. And in this game, I don't know too much about this game. This is called Tinykin. Tinykin. Sorry. You guys heard
it's a
this
super rare game. Yeah.
rare,
Looked like a good game. It's like a 3D platformer or something like that.
Yeah. It looks like one of those games that, well, I won't say it breaks the fourth wall or anything, but it looks pretty unique. So definitely cool. Then we got here.
I wanted to pick up Hell Pie from them too. I missed that one. I don't want it.
Hammer and Harry for the NES.
Ooh,
I don't know if this officially came out to America, but this cover looks sick. I was actually pretty impressed with this.
It's
Hi,
like
boss.
embroidered in the front too. That's cool. Like
Yeah,
glossy.
it opens up and everything, like kind of like a book in a way. Like
that's
that.
cool.
Oh, that's nice. And it's got all artwork throughout there. Yeah, I like
Yeah, and
that.
it has like a wooden cartridge. I thought that was really cool how they did that. So pretty happy with that. Then of course we got the sequel, which doesn't look that impressive with the cover. I mean, they could have used a better cover than some dude's face like that. Like, oh, look at me. Like, nah, whatever, dude. But it's still kind of cool. And this one right here is a re-release Sega Genesis game. This is Soldies.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's nice.
That's a really expensive game to get physically.
I had no idea because Sega Genesis version was the one that was obscure. So here's like the other cover looks for it.
No,
yeah,
that's
it only came out in like freaking Malaysia or something weird like that, or just
Really?
like, yeah, I don't remember the details. I can't remember if it was Japan only or Japan and China only or something like that. But it only got released in like Asian regions. It's super rare. It's like very, very expensive if I'm not mistaken. Like I think it's like $1,000 game.
Wow.
Could be wrong though.
I have no idea, man.
I probably looked at it once and went, nope. I went through that like 4 or 5 years ago. I was like really like getting into shmups and downloading shmups, and I'm like, I'm gonna buy all these shmups, and then I was just like, holy crap! Apparently, I was not the first one to think of this. This stuff is expensive.
They really are, man.
Damn, dude.
And next game here for the Game Boy, Wing Warriors. Let's shoot them up by this company. Producing Game Boy games still.
Love the cover art. Hell yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I like the 8-bit Game Boy covers. It's cool.
Then we have 2021 Moon Escape. I think this is like some kind of survival horror game for the Game Boy. Wow. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm doing a video on these games here pretty soon. I just don't know when, but it's coming. And then we have Didius. This is another horror game.
That's cool.
That's
cool. That cover looks like H.R. Geiger type stuff.
Yeah, that's a metal album cover right there. I like it.
Yeah.
All the skulls with the different colors. That's awesome.
And then Dango Dash. Looks like a kind of like a.
Damn, that's even more metal. No, I'm just kidding.
Platform. This looks like a regular platform game. I'll have more details as I put the video out for these, but yeah, those are my pickups. So.
It's cool to be able to add new Game Boy games to the collection in 2024.
Yeah. I know, right? Who would have thought, man? Like Game Boy came out in 1990, and they're still putting out games on it. Like these developers have great ideas still. So I want to make a Game Boy game.
So if you are into cartridge collecting and stuff, I mean, that's got to be really exciting to have more stuff come up for your favorite console of all time. Hey, I would be pumped if they were releasing new PS1 games and or stuff like that. I would buy them too.
Like, well, they are.
Yeah, the retro bidders and stuff like that. Retro game.
Not Retrobit. I think the other company. I think they announced it. they're up at Xenocrisis.
Oh my god! Of course,
That's coming out.
That game's coming out on the
PS1.
TI-83 calculator soon. Dude.
Yeah, I know, right? That's another PS1 game. But the thing about PS1 games, the reason why a lot of developers don't probably work on that system is because no one ever cracked the wobble detection, and how the game they would detect if the game was real or not.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have the stuff to kind of like make their games know how to go through the wobble detection. So you have to have a modern system to play a lot of new games.
So it really feels like you're playing a cracked game when you still can't play it on your regular systems.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they're like, man, what the heck? So yeah, so unfortunate.
It's cool though. I mean, especially with our topic today, the whole physical media sort of on the way down. It's cool that, you know, we're going to see an influx of old media getting new games on them, and like we're going to see games that were talked about back in the day being made and put on these systems that were meant to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be really cool.
It will be. Definitely.
Crystal asked a good question. Did you guys watch the Xbox Direct? I didn't actually catch it.
I didn't know.
Oh, that happened already? Jeez, I'm so out of it, man.
There was like a developer direct, I think that either happened today or yesterday, where they had interviewed some developers. They were talking about some new games coming out, and I watched like the first. I watched like half of RGT's video about it, but I didn't watch the actual thing.
I know Zap Crystal. Zap, if you're watching this still, did you beat Resident Evil Code Veronica yet? Because if you didn't, you haven't felt the pain that a lot of us have felt playing that game. Like the backtracking in that game is like unreal. But I tell you, something that's worse than that one is probably Zero is probably the worst when it comes to backtracking in a Resident Evil game. Like, man, Zero was something else. Even though I love that game to a certain extent, it's like that backtracking is like, come on, man. Like, what is going on here?
Backtracking in video games sucks, full stop.
No,
they have to make the game fun to be replayable to be able to do that. You know, it's a hard thing.
I have to. I think in every single Metroidvania game, there's a point where I'm like, "F this game! I don't know where to go." I think that happens to me in every single game. I have to backtrack, or I can't find one item, or I don't know where I'm going, and I'm stuck on the game for like a half hour.
Dude,
like
that was like
every
a game that you had to like. If you didn't have a strategy guide, you had to like actually write out notes, like draw out a map of the areas you would go to in that game. And that's how you would like save yourself from the stress.
I used to do that for lots of old games, dude. I remember I attempted to play Riven on PC. I had like a freaking encyclopedia of notes, and I still got nowhere. I was like, this does this, and that does this, and this unlocks that, and this switch does this. I wrote it all down, and I got nowhere. It was like, this is too hard.
You ever play those games where you like have a notepad next to you? I was doing it yesterday, so I'll show it. Where you like actually have to write down notes as you go to be able to keep up with the game.
Yeah, that's smart, dude.
When you know it's tough.
Yeah, especially for like a game like Metroid or even Zelda. You know, I think Zelda came with like a mini map. I think the original game. That's going far back, but still.
You know what I love when people show their Zelda collections, and there's so many out there that have like homemade maps and shit.
For people, they put that's what I was gonna say too.
Some of those homemade maps that people made are incredible. I've seen photos online.
Yep.
That's cool, man. That's, back in the day, I remember I used to make my own like fan service stuff for all sorts of stuff I like. We used to make our own Star Trek episodes and shit on video, and we used to do like make our own maps and games and oh yeah, and we'd write our own stories for games or write our own stories for like movies we liked and crap. We were nerds. Yeah, there wasn't a lot to do back in the day.
We
didn't have smartphones to entertain us 24 hours a day. So you have to
I want to ask you guys, what are you guys currently playing right now?
Honestly, I'm only playing Giga, so I'm just grinding that game really hard. I'm learning how to speak how to read Russian at the moment, so I can read all the road signs in Russia, and I just learn all the second subdivisions of Indonesia. There's 450, so I'm really good in Indonesia now.
Okay, right on. Joe, what about you?
So I'm still grinding Binding of Isaac. I'm almost done my unlocks, and then I've been playing Final Fantasy 16. Like maybe 8 hours into it or something like that.
Really, it feels pretty linear. Like it's just like a lot of
very linear. Yeah. It's fun, and I'm enjoying it. But it's That's what I was complaining about earlier. It's like it's not like you know, and the old games were similar. Like Final Fantasy VII, you don't get to the open world until you get out of Midgard, so it's not like, so it's not like this is a new thing or anything. And then the game might open up into an open world at some point. I have no idea, but so far it's been pretty linear. But like I said, it's fine. I'm enjoying it. Graphics are great. The gameplay's fun.
Well,
Story's amazing.
I have good news for both of you guys.
Mm.
Next month we get Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh,
Next month. Yeah. Yeah. I had to. As a matter of fact, that's probably the game I'm gonna play at the Star Ocean. I gotta play part 7 again. Like make sure I wrap up the ending again, just so I'm familiar with everything. I gotta play the Yuffie content. I haven't played that yet. So once I play that, I think it'll be perfect time to hop into Rebirth. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah,
But then,
good to see you. I tell you what, I haven't played yet, guys. I still haven't played Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, and that's one of my favorite. I played that and finished it on the PSP, and I love it. I haven't played it on PS4 yet.
I'm just waiting for a good sale for it. I mean, I saw it go on sale for $24, but it was the PS4 version. I said I'm going it on PS5 because I got the other one on PS5. So just waiting for that sale, $20. Maybe it'll happen soon.
Zach was one of my favorite protagonists of any Final Fantasy game. I thought he was such a cool dude. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the treatment that they gave that one.
Yeah, they seem like they're rewriting the story, man. So I feel like we're going to have a good finale when this series finally finishes again. One more game after this, so I say about 2027, the story will have concluded, hopefully, or 28.
2027. Oh my god!
I know. I can't believe I'm saying that. It's probably 28.
That story. I mean, see, they could be smart now, and they could almost like change the ending and go off and make their own new ending and new part 4. They could. It'll sell.
Have both of you guys played the original Final Fantasy VII and beat it?
Oh,
I've gone through. I haven't finished it, but I've started playing through it after I finished the remake.
I've played it multiple times.
Well, you know the hurt we felt like Rad, like on certain parts of the game, man. I was like, man. So I feel like to get the most out of the Rebirth, you should definitely play the first game and like see how it was. Even though it has some bad dialogue in it, like this guy are sick. You remember that crap? So they had bugs in it, but it's still a solid game. But I've always felt with Final Fantasy VII, the original, didn't really live up to what it should have been because I felt like they rushed it towards it, especially with the third disc. You know, I felt like the game just kind of concluded or whatever like that. The ending was kind of weird. Yeah. So another game that was rushed out.
A full 100-hour story out of disc 3 because they'll really be able to expand on it now. You know.
Well, the game had a development like cycle that was started on the 64. Then it went to the PlayStation. That's why the characters look the way they do. Yeah. But in battle, they look all like tall and everything. Yeah. So.
I forgot. I've also been playing Moving Out 2.
Dude! I tried to look for somebody online to play, and like nobody was online, dude. I was like, yes,
I'll play that with you
online
anytime, man. If you want, I really like that game.
Yeah, because we played Chainsaw Massacre together, and I think we survive together.
At
least once. We did. That's right.
Yeah. We got away a couple of times, and I got smoked a few times.
The Sawyer family got us a couple of times, but I think for the more part, we actually escaped. So that was fun.
That was.
But now I'm back playing Dead by Daylight, which is crazy. I can't believe I'm still playing that game after all these years. Like, for those of you who don't know what they're like,
streaming it, and they like, I've got one mate who's literally plays it like 24/7. I'm like, still playing Dead by Daylight.
It's entertaining because it's a deadly game of hide and seek. You know what I mean? So I play as the survivors usually because everything's against the survivors. It's more of a thrill to play as them. I never really played as a killer, but it's fun, dude. Like getting that escape, like you just feel like, man, it feels good. Like it really.
It's the adrenaline.
That's accomplishment. Yeah,
it really is. Yeah, it's like you said, as the killer. You know, if you see the survivors, you're not like, oh, you're just like, oh crap, I'm gonna go kill them. But if you're the survivor and you see the killer, you're like, ah, damn,
the best part
through the window, throw your friend at him. You die, motherfucker. I'm going.
And the best part is like is taunting the killer while they're chasing
him. You know.
Yeah, man. Like the taunting the killers while they're chasing you is so thrilling because they you can tell they're mad. And like I just know all the escape routes to get away from them, and so it's like it's crazy. I had killers like actually like run away from me, like get mad because they knew I was like trying to buy time for the other people to fix the generators. So yeah, man, once you get good at that, man, it's great. But yeah, that's a good game to play for a thrill. You know,
it sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, one day Fixie, you'll pick it up and try it out, but you'll probably play it on PC.
When I get into games, I grind them hard and put 100% into them, and then I go through phases where I just play like 3 games a day for months. So.
You put in work, man. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm grinding, climbing up the leaderboards, and I think I see myself at like 30th in Australia yesterday. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool,
The last leadership board I was on was actually Resident Evil 2 Outbreak Part File 2. I actually grinded to get on the leadership board on that one, and I was on there for like a couple of days. Oh no, a couple of weeks actually, where I got knocked down. But that was really thrilling for me to do that. So
I beat one of the top players in the world yesterday. It felt pretty good. So.
Oh, right on, man! Right on, heck yeah.
See, that's the thing. I love score-based games. I'm like really into that. Like I love that old arcade competitiveness to gaming that comes along with having like an arcade scoreboard. So I love any games that have like the ranking systems and stuff like that. I've
going into that game yesterday, knowing that I'm playing a world-class top player, and he didn't play in the World Cup, but he was in the qualifiers for it. And I'm like, oh shit, I actually like have to play good here. And I won, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Nice. But yeah, I do like that's one of the reasons I love Beat Saber is like I just am trying to always incrementally just get a little higher on that board, man. It makes me feel so good. My best song on Expert Plus is I have a song at 38th on the leaderboards. One of the songs I play. Nice. Pretty good. I think that's pretty good. And then I'm like right around 100 on a bunch of songs, like right around top 100. And then I have a couple where like no matter how hard I try, I'm like 500. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? What is that? How are you people doing this? And I'm not even playing it that badly. I'm only missing like 3 or 4 notes. And I'm like hundreds of thousands of points off. I'm like, what the heck? I don't know.
Yeah, imagine what the performance of number 1 would be like. Perfect.
So I think it's like the velocity that you swing the blade through the block increases the amount of points that you get. So if you play like limp wristed, you don't get a lot of points. You gotta swing them motherfuckers. You gotta really, really swing those things. And I don't know, man. Like it's a workout. That's tiring. Like you go all out on a song. When you're done, you're like, oh, damn. So it's like you want to play a little limp wristed if you want to play just so you
don't. Not doing it right until you build up the sweat. That's what you got to.
All I think about is Revenge of the Nerds when he has the javelin. It's like Lamar's limp wristed throwing style. We've adjusted the javelin. All right, you guys know what I'm talking.
Oh, we might call that a night, guys. It's been
Fixie's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Reggie, thanks so much for coming on and joining us, man. It made the show really awesome.
Yeah, that
was
guys,
really cool, we do have something special for you. Joe has finished the intro, so we will leave you guys with the intro of Season 3 of the PlayStation Collectors Podcast. So enjoy.
That's technically the outro as well.
Yeah, it's the outro as well.
Thanks for watching. Share and subscribe and stuff and like and whatever. All that shit.
That stuff.
Yeah, do that stuff.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Season. Come on, won't you stay with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to guests, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance.